Welcome to Abraxas Precipice. This is a place and a time that we play the Expanse role-playing game. We're trying some new words tonight I don't usually use, so it's kind of funny. Tonight's like an extra special episode, guys. Like this is like I know I do special episodes and I say things are special once in a while, but this one's like way out there special. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. I think I'm gonna start with the happiest kind of news and go and kind of work my way through it. I'm not sure how to higher rank it. We're rejoined by Jessie Christiansen. Jessie, if you want to go ahead and tell the folks at home who you are, what you do, where they can find you, that'd be great.
Hi, I'm Jessie Christiansen. I'm the lead scientist at the NASA Exoplanet Archive. I'm a research scientist at Caltech. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi and the Expanse, so I'm delighted to be able to worm my way back on this show one more time. Thank you so much for having me. You can find me online. Caltech just started a new podcast called Explore Exoplanets, The Discoverers, where I'm the host and I interview people who have found other worlds around other stars. So if you want to hear about how they did it and what it felt like and what they're excited to do next, please find that. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube. Explore Exoplanets, The Discoverers. Check it out. They're only short episodes, but they're a lot of fun. There's 3 episodes available and 5 more in the can. So I'm excited about that, and I'm really excited to be here with the team tonight.
Yeah, and I dropped a link to the YouTube channel there. You can find they're the top episodes on there. They're a total blast. I've enjoyed every single one. It's a really cool podcast about the different ways exoplanets are discovered, and kind of people's different journeys to how they got to that career of fighting exoplanets, because it's a very diverse journey, and I'm really enjoying that one. Next piece of news is we are playing for World Central Kitchen tonight. This is a great charity that helps feed people in disaster zones all over the world. They spring up wherever they're needed. They came to my area, seriously, like about 10 miles down the road from me back in January. We had really bad flooding. Literally, we're feeding my colleagues, people I work with, people I hang out in the community with. And they just do good work all over. You can't go wrong with them. There's a great documentary. I think it's on, I can't remember if it's on Amazon or Netflix, but called We Feed People. It's a very, very good documentary. So please check them out. But you can go ahead and donate using the link there in the chat. That link will also has incentives, including some great bundles from Green Ronin for the Expanse role-playing game, including an exclusive Planet Hunter bundle. Which has the Planet Surveyor, the Scouts, Beyond the Gate or Beyond the Ring, the Ships of the Expanse, so all the stuff you need to do to explore exoplanets at the comfort of your own home table on a budget, because it gets pretty expensive from my understanding if you do the high level of it. But we're doing that. I also put up there. For a generous donation, I will run a game of the Expanse role-playing game for you and some friends, should you be inclined to do that. Furthermore on that, Jessie took us by a surprise last time and is willing to match up to $500 in donations to World Central Kitchen. So by the end whatever we have by the end of it, Jessie's willing to match up to $500. So please keep those donations coming in and everything, and we'll have a lot of fun with that. And
please try and make my husband regret me saying that.
Oh.
Donate as much as possible, so I have to match up to 500.
Okay. I respect that. I have a lot of respect for that. Okay. Very cool. And last but not least, tonight is our final episode with Maria Moore, who has played Zenny Pezahl for the last a year and a half, I think, a little over a year and a half, maybe.
Something like
that. It only feels like an eternity. But we'll be working on other projects and such, so please follow Maria wherever you can. Check out their work with Goblin Society Games. Maria, do you have anything you want to say to the folks about where to find you and what to do, or what's going on, or?
You can, of course, rewatch episodes to see my beautiful face here. But I am involved in other TTRPG projects as well. Right now, I'm also a cast member on Outcast and Outclassed, which is an award-winning Pathfinder 2e campaign that's every other Thursday night. What else? I am a variety streamer here on Twitch as well, streaming a variety of different games and building a community of fantastic individuals. And Goblin Society Games, we're getting ready to release our next book, which is a sci-fi setting for the Savage World system. So that should be coming out in the next... very soon. Very, 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 very soon.
I will be looking for that.
Oh,
I will make sure to get you all a copy.
Great.
Ah, heck yeah.
cool. I didn't know. I learned something about Scott tonight too. That's awesome. So let's see. It's a night of miracles.
Savage Worlds is amazing.
The last thing too tonight is that we are having a giveaway courtesy of Green Ronin. We are giving away one of our Planet Hunter bundles that they've exclusively put together for us. So if you type in the word exoplanet, that's all one word. It's one word, right, Jesse? Okay, let's make sure. Type that in the chat. You'll be entered to win. We'll pull a winner at the end of the stream. But type in the word exoplanet, and you will be entered to win a fine bundle of stuff. I feel like that's it. Is that pretty good? Did I do it? Did I do it right? Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna go do our opening credits, and we will be right back with Abraxas Precipice, the Expanse role-playing game. Back on Mundos, things have progressed. People have made more discoveries, figuring more things out. The crew of Sinclair is meeting with Dr. Mel Holson. I'm going to assume you guys got like a meeting room or something like that. Sound good? Like kind of a place where you can do kind of a presentation. It's got, it's a classic, table and chairs. Everybody's can have a little console where they can interact with the display or whatever it is. But it's a pretty straightforward thing. In one of these polymer, what do they call, like structures that they're using for their bases operation too. They don't use a lot of metal here for their construction because of the high oxygen in the environment. They want to use more polymers because corrosion sucks. And I don't want to use dripping on me in the night, right? But you guys are sitting there looking. Mel's kind of standing there waiting, putting together the notes, prepping the scene, like to share some information with you all. Upon different revelations have come, a lot of information is being brought out. It seems that one of the things that you guys have kind of gotten wind of broadly is that Pope has opened up the floodgates of his research to Mason's Haven. He seems less interested now in profiting from the information and more interested in surviving using the information. I can't imagine why. But that's kind of that's kind of what's happened the last 2-3 hours. You guys have had to set this meeting and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna let Dr. Holson take the floor here and begin, hit F5 and begin their PowerPoint, so.
Oh my God, I hope we're not still using Microsoft in 200 years.
We'll never get rid of them.
Okay, so I have some new reports and they're really interesting from a scientific point of view, and maybe a little scary from an everything else point of view. But let me just explain the science part, and then you guys tell me how scary it is. Okay. Jesus. And so a lot of this is new. Right. So in the night ivy on our side of Mundos, they introduced isotopes, so special chemicals that made the night ivy glow at certain wavelengths. And then they used their instruments to see where that glowing material went. And what they found with satellites on the other side of the planet is that the glowing material appeared there in the jungle. So something we introduced over here in the night ivy is now appearing in the jungle on the other side of the planet. And we can actually trace the glowing material through the planet. It's wild, guys. The night ivy is connected to the jungle. So maybe one way to think about it is the soybeans that we grow. Imagine that we put glowing stuff in the roots of the soybeans and that got sucked up and is now showing up in the beans at the top. Wow, that's really amazing. The night ivy is connected to the jungle. We're still trying to work out if one is the roots of the other, but that's the connection. But the weirdest thing is when they trace the glowing material through the center of the planet, there's something in the center of the planet. There's some structure, there's some engineered structure that's taking up a huge fraction, like 20 to 30% of the center of the planet, that looks like engineered, structured, infrastructure that was left behind on purpose. So this idea that we had of sending the protomolecule above the jungle and hitting that gravity tether is just the tip of this huge manufactured iceberg. That's so amazing. Think about the scale of what they had to do to make this happen. But also, definitely, this machinery is starting to wake up, which is also really cool, but that's the part where I need you to tell me how scary it is. Because there's so much happening. But guys, the night ivy is connected to the jungle, and there's a machine in the middle. What?
And I should also mention in the display that's like in the center of the table, it's kind of three-dimensional. It's a three-dimensional display of it, and it kind of shows this like viney structure. It looks like roots going through the planet up to where the jungle is, and you can see it coming all the way through it. It looks like it's like a model, but you can decidedly see that there is like a giant absence in the center of it that has. It's almost like it looks like a spinning top, like kind of an angular spinning top, like kind of like a diamond almost shape that kind of then goes straight up. So it's something's there, but it's not spherical. It has like a more geometrical angled shape to it for sure. Does that make sense?
Just checking to make sure I captured everything. Yes. Swipe it off my hollow thing and up into the big thing. Be like.
Huh.
Or how to respond to that, to be completely honest. It's pretty terrifying to know what's on the other side of the planet in that forest, jungle, whatever.
So I think we're probably about to have a situation, and I have no idea what it could do, but it's definitely doing something. So it's about to go down. It's waking up. We don't know what it does when it's awake, but the gravity tether certainly brings down satellites.
So how is it awake? How do you know? Is it just that there's movement?
So this is the part where Zenny probably yells at me again. By introducing the protomolecule into the machinery, the protomolecule has activated it. Which was not the plan. Definitely not the plan, but we didn't realize that there would be a gravity tether that would. So now I'm giving you the information. You need to have all the information, and I'm sorry that you haven't had it until now.
Is there any kind of plan in foot or, set up to?
We're really just putting all of this together now. So this is the planning time.
I'm really not sure what to say about this. Cap?
God. Okay, I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around this. What does awake mean? What like is something like physically happening somewhere?
No, it's the so when we it's like what we said the other day, Cap, with the weird machines who are around scooping up all the stuff off of the ground, and
Right.
you know,
They're an
when
example
it's
of the increased activity.
yeah, like a you know, a computer waking up or something like that, right, Doctor? That's
Yes,
kind of like that.
We haven't seen more than that yet, but the
Okay,
indications
that's-
are increasing activity. Like, we don't know what the next things will happen, but stuff
So
will keep
there's-
happening.
More robot-y things that are happening.
There's more activity when we look. We can't see what's all happening, but stuff is waking up inside the planet.
There's like, and you can see on the display, there's like, you kind of bring up one of the layers, you know, like kind of the visualize it, and you can see that there's like some little, like, the satellites are picking up some minor warmer spots that are warmer than they were, like, say, a few days ago, and that's pretty, for a planet that doesn't have seasons exactly, that doesn't like rotate, that's pretty distinct. And that whole side of the planet's pretty stable in terms of its temperature. And so there's little spikes in the jungle where they're picking up some heat, but they're not like huge spikes. It isn't like, most people wouldn't notice. If you walked into it, you wouldn't notice it, but the satellites pick it up.
Could it just be spiders or the whatever those arachnid style things are?
Yeah,
Well,
it would be great to get more information, but
if the structure is, if there's some kind of structure in the middle of the planet, which makes sense given the ruins that we went into went down pretty deep. It was probably just one part of this huge structure or whatever that's down there. Then if there's heat signatures that are popping up in not random areas, but in all over the place, then there's something that's happening down. There's got to be something that's happening down in that structure then.
yes, that's
especially
the
if we can't see
conclusion.
it.
The structure itself is activating in some way. Now, we have no idea if there's an immediate threat or if something's about to happen. I just wanted you guys to understand what we're seeing. I don't want you guys to keep being surprised. So this is what we're seeing. These are the reports. The night ivy is connected to the jungle. There's something in the middle. Now, there are more immediate problems that we know are problems, like our supply, our fuel supply, the electric fog. There are other things we know we have to deal with, but I just wanted you to have this information. Something's happening in the center of the planet. We're going to keep an eye on it, but I wanted you to know. I don't want you to be surprised anymore.
It's good to know. I mean, it's good to know, but it's also terrifying. Home right now could just disappear.
We don't know.
I don't know what we would do if we went back in there is the problem, because we don't have the firepower to take on one of those full spotted things, and there was potentially a lot of them down there. So
I think until we have a clearer idea of what the target would be, that I'm not advocating we go down and start firing. It's just a thing that's happening. It's kind of alarming. I'm asking you guys to help me gauge how nervous to be. Clearly, my ability to judge how scary something is hasn't been very good in the past. So now I'm letting you guys know all the information so you can tell me how scared we should be.
Considering we can't see what the hell is happening underneath the planet, probably very scared. Honestly, this planet it's a big planet, and if we can't see what's going on, Something could just happen now, and we will have no idea. So I would say very, very nervous at least, and highly concerned.
Yes. So certainly, we're gonna really concentrate on observing and tracking and working out where the hotspots are coming and if they're moving and if they're increasing. So we'll do all of that. But I wanted you to know that that's what we're doing.
Dr. Holman, give me a physics test. I do want to give you a chance to get this information real quick too.
That's 15 on the die, 5 on the drama die, plus 8, 23.
Very, very good. Yeah, big brain. Okay.
Physics.
So, physics. The one thing I will say that is from the report, and this is a report you only got access to a few hours ago. It's still pretty fresh to you because the siloed information as it turns out. The amount of energy they're detecting from this thing is down there is very minor amounts of energy. And compared on scale to something like the Eros experiment that they had, a decade ago or something like that, it's like nothing. It's like comparing a firecracker to a nuclear bomb in terms of how much radiation is going on. So if it is waking up, it's going to do it very slowly. And the one thing that's kind of been known, especially archaeologically from the builders, is that they played on a big, long time scale. So waiting 100 years for the thing to wake up, waiting 1,000 years for it to wake up, whatever. Do it staying on their head. So human lifespan is very minor compared to the rate at which they believe that this thing's waking up. At least the current theory goes.
Okay. So I'll relay that the energy levels are minor and we don't know what the time scale is, but typically the time scale has been long for these things. So it might not be the most important thing right now, but it's definitely an important thing at some point.
Definitely something we got to keep
in
the back of our mind at all times. Have a contingency plan if something bad happens.
Right. But you guys should decide if the priority is going to the electric fog. That's with your ship.
Yeah, that's actually what Waxer's off doing right now. Is he's been prepping. Basically, he went back up the well. Or he went up the ship's on the surface. He's out on the Sinclair clearing out space so they can pack as much material into it from the electric fog. They want to do another salvage mission out to it to grab the materials off of it. There's still stuff left out there. And he's him and McMichaels and Jan are basically stripping out as much stuff as they can from the Sinclair. They're not throwing the weapons out or anything like that, but they're trying to make room out there. So they took all the for example, the assault package, the extra stuff they don't need to move anything, whatever they can, they're trying to make it so they can pack as much stuff wall to wall on the Sinclair to bring back. And they're also looking at prepping the Adrian Rogers as well for that mission as well. So they do have way too many torpedoes on their ship, so they're taking their torpedoes off the ship right now, but they're going to be part of the mission as well.
Can you have too many torpedoes?
When you're using your food space for torpedoes, and you open the fridge and there's a torpedo inside, you might have a problem. But
okay, I guess we have to eat.
I guess once in a while, right? So
I suppose.
But that's another mission that's coming up within the week or so. Is to deploy out and go into go back and get as much stuff in electric fog as possible, and it takes about 2 weeks to get out there.
Here.
Okay.
So you'll keep us updated though on any new information that will come down the pipeline.
Immediately. As soon as I know anything more, you will know it.
Who was that person that we assigned to cross-training everybody last week?
I can't remember.
Yao Shang.
Oh yeah. Yao's the guy that they got in trouble, and
he was going to train everybody how to fly drones.
Yep. Yeah. So we didn't. Maybe he'd be a good point person to, if we're not here, since he's going to be here. Someone who can also help keep an eye on things, because he's a lot of things, but he is very good at seeing things. So.
Actually, that came back to was the colony head Janet Keith came back and decided, being persuaded by you guys too in some regards, that Yao's punishment would be he would be demoted. So he would no longer run his sector like as autonomously as he once did. There would now be someone overseeing his projects, but he would also be training people. So they took your recommendation into consideration, and everybody found that a favorable outcome. So he's not confined to quarters, but he is on restrictions. So he's not allowed to be in his lab unsupervised, stuff like that. So it's pretty good result, honestly, and everybody was very happy with the justice served, I suppose.
Definitely a fair punishment. So what's the plan for Wright at this moment? Like, what should we be doing right now?
Well, I think getting as many supplies as we can, honestly, because, I mean, not to make it bleak, but we're gonna start. There's a lot of people here between us and everybody else in the ships up there, and we can fabricate things. Food won't be an issue for a while, but if we need to get anywhere for any reason, if we need to get off this planet because all of a sudden it's gonna, I don't know, explode or implode or crack open like an egg, we gotta get as much as we can. So I think maybe just helping them unload so we can get out there as quick as we can and start bringing stuff back, maybe.
Like the electric fog, the main priority right now. Unless something, comes back from a scan or something that we need to be worried about.
Yeah.
But until then, I think, we should focus on that and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that Mel, because her expertise is orbital dynamics and astrodynamics, I'll help chart out a course for the Sinclair and Adrian Rogers that uses the least amount of fuel possible, right? Like we're not like, we're going to make up speed in the air. Like, no, we're going to conserve fuel.
You can do some gravity maneuvers around some of the gas giants out there.
Exactly.
We
got room to play.
You got some room to play. Yeah, this actually falls under the skill navigation, actually, which I think you have. So let's see if you get a thing that'll save some fuel here.
That wasn't a great roll though. So that's 9 plus 8
plus an extra 1 because it is
17.
astrodynamics. So 18.
Okay, 18, but only one on the drama die.
Yeah, you pull up a solution. You come up with a solution that does some of the stuff, but you do a more conservative slingshot maneuvers here, if you will. You don't. You're not clear entirely on how skilled the pilots of the Sinclair and the Adrian Rogers are, so you don't want to put them all at risk.
Right.
And you also don't have they don't have complete readings on some of the atmospheres of these planets, so they're not sure quite how the hulls of the ships would react with them.
This would literally be where she did the Kessel run in 12 parsecs would make sense,
yes.
right? Like, I'm trying to make you guys the shortest route to get there.
Yeah.
You bust out the calculus and you get some wild ass numbers. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just a few planets. It's just a few AUs. It's whatever, right? Okay, so you guys, Mel does present a pathway that's a little more efficient. It'll help out a little bit. It'll still take the same amount of time, but it's more of that, like, it's just going to burn less fuel, and you guys can use a little bit of the gravity wells to get there a tad easier.
Is there any way for us to produce our own fuel, or do we not have all the required?
So this is where we get into what I was reading about this week. You need a lot of very specific hydrogen and helium atoms that are not terribly common. You don't just pull them out of whatever water you can find. And you also need a refinery. You need a lot of tech to do this. It's not literally Fred Johnson killed a ton of belters over a refinery that produced this kind of stuff. Let's put it that way. Like, that's kind of how extremely valuable this fuel is. It's easy to produce once you set up to do it, but if you don't have the materials, the entry cost is very high. We'll say the entry cost is very high. Same thing with trying to produce chemical rocket fuel. You guys can synthesize some of it, but not very fast. I mean, you're talking like you could produce maybe like, a kilogram of it once a month. I mean, it's good, and it's going to take a lot more than that to get you in orbit. So
like enough for like a hot plate.
You get a pretty decent 4th of July with it. But like nothing. Yeah, you get a hot plate. Yeah, you might be able to cook your food with it for a little bit, but nothing. Not getting off the well with it. Yeah. So fuel has definitely been an issue, and the current projections is that kind of what's been agreed upon. At least Pope was pushing, and then Keith agreed, was that they want to have enough fuel for all the ships to go to the ring and back at least 3 times. They want reserves. They don't want to send the ships out willy-nilly. Keeping them in orbit, not a problem. You can keep them in orbit forever. That's super easy.
Does the electric fog have fuel that we could bring back?
No, actually, it's the back half of it that got blown off. So it's all the you got the wrong. Yeah, you guys pulled the wishbone of that transport ship got pulled. You guys got the wrong end.
I mean, I think we got the food end, which is not bad.
Yeah, you got where the crew is. You got the food
and the live people end.
And the live people
also
end.
good. See,
which is also great. Yeah.
Mostly a lot of polymers and a lot of materials, but nothing like. I mean, you guys want to build more buildings? It's great. If you want to repair ships, it's great parts, but nothing like in terms of fuel refinement. There's some research gear in there, stuff like that, like electronics, but nothing like. I'm sorry, that part of the ship was not carrying a fusion reactor.
I just thought I'd check. I was like, hey.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I happen to have one in my pocket. Why not? All right. But yeah. So you guys, but yeah, there's definitely supplies out there that'll keep the colony alive for a lot longer. I mean, that's it's food, materials, some soil, even like some terrestrial soil, stuff like that. So you guys can, do all that kind of stuff easily.
You said take us 2 weeks to get there from time we leave.
Yeah, it's about 24 AU, so it's about with a solid 1G burn, it's about 2 weeks to get out there. Maybe you might be able to, if you want to push it faster, you guys can up the burn to like a 2G burn, but that gets people kind of uncomfortable, especially the belters. They have a chance of having some side effects.
Don't want to risk it.
Yeah, and the 1G alone is kind of rough on them, so. Not horrible, it's not fun. So, but yeah, the Sinclair is like they're getting kicked up, ready to make that mission, and then some of the crew, specifically Captain Eugene Simons. So that's the acting captain of the Adrian Rogers. He's actually willing to do the mission, and he's actually volunteered to have certain crew members of the Jersey Kinross join. So he's not just bringing only his own people, he's also bringing some of people from your guys' colony as well. He's kind of he seems to be kind of trying to like, what the word on the street is, he's trying to fit in. He's trying to be more like amicable. He offered this up. He's like, it's our ship by all means, but we do want help. And we'll leave some of our people back here in good faith. He's one you to think that he's going to like try to just, hey, I'm going to run for the gate, see you guys later, no, he's not going to bail on you guys, so.
I have a question.
Mel wants to go on the Sinclair out to the electric fog. She wants to see more of the field around the gate. Like, what is it? Can she think of anything while she's out there to help with the gate situation? So she's going to invite herself on board.
Exo says yes. Captain says yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I do have a question though about the animal life on our planet. Whenever this started up in the center of the planet, did they change in any way? Their habits,
let me get. I'm gonna roll that. I'm gonna have the colony actually roll that check. I'm actually gonna do a colony roll because, well, it's not a turd, but that would be actually a question for the colony because they would be able to do it. And they have this is a science roll. Actually, I'll let Scott. Scott, you roll the colonies roll. My roll sucked. I feel like.
Oh yeah, mine rolled much better.
So add 2 to this. That's their science score. That's how good they are at science in general.
12.
Okay. Yeah, they haven't been monitoring that stuff as much, especially with their head xenobiologist being dev. So the xenobiology, basically the flora and fauna analog project, kind of went on the back burner. It's something they definitely want to pick up again, but they've been more concerned with surviving first but they haven't seen any animals near the place.
when we first got here, wasn't the Brachiosaurus chasing us whenever Zinni had the?
That's the current
The sample.
The sample, yeah. It was the builder. It was like micros, like micro nanoparticles of like the builder tech. It wasn't like protomolecule, but it was like tech, like parts of their tech, the materials they used to build their machines.
Mm-hmm. I would like to find somebody who can maybe keep an eye on that, because
I believe they put walls up around the colony. If I recall, I think they fortified the colony to prevent those things from coming in quite as easily.
Okay.
So, and they're on alert. They've definitely been watching them, and they're tracking them. They're pretty easy to spot, the big ones. There are like some small kind of like mole-like analogs that kind of like burrow along the night ivy, but they're honestly pretty harmless. Like they're like moles. Like I don't know how to describe them. They're tiny little burrowing eyeless creatures. Moles. I can't really get a name for them. I'm trying to remember if we had a name for them. I'll have to look that one up, but because we actually started naming some stuff on the colony.
We named them like forever ago.
Yeah, we named them forever ago.
We've slept since then.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find them actually. Okay, cool. Yeah, what else is kind of going on here? You guys thinking about?
That's pretty much my priority was finding out if the animals would change the way they're acting because of this, and then we go to the electric fog.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No, there's been nothing's come close to the colony that's done anything weird. It isn't like the one instance where the one broke in and started smashing stuff. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No one's come that close. They've actually kept a pretty wide berth. They seem a lot more calm than they were during that incident, although, and I think Zenny posited a pretty strong theory on what occurred there, if I recall correctly. So, oh. Yeah. All right, well, now the ship's prepped. It can go into orbit anytime you want to. You can get up there and go meet the Adrian Rogers easily enough.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Waxer's all set up. He goes, I got all good, boss man. We're ready to payload, and they brought like an extra mech on board. They're borrowing one from the Jersey Kinross. They're geared up. I mean, like you're looking at like the Sinclair, and you've never actually seen it this empty. Like it's actually shockingly empty inside, even more so than it ever has been. They brought just enough food for everybody. They brought, it's bare. I mean, there's food for a little bit extra, but like bare enough food. All the alloys and polymers you guys brought back like are emptied out. It's you guys can do repairs, but you're not. If you get a big hole in the ship, you're not gonna be able to repair it when you're this far out, because they want to make sure they can get as much of this crap as possible on the back end of it. The Adrian Rogers is a tad bigger, and because of the way that the Adrian Rogers is structured with its retrofit, they can actually put some external cargo containers on it. So they're actually hoping that when they get there, not just load the Adrian Rogers up, but even take intact cargo containers and actually just strap them to the hull of the ship as a way to help bring it back. So, and it will take a lot more fuel. It should take real life Jessie, you can tell me. I'm not sure if it would take more fuel to bring back something with more mass like that because you're going sunward, or if it wouldn't. I'm not sure. Or it might be. It's probably that far out. It's probably minimal.
Yeah, we're very far away from the gravitational well at that point. So.
All right. So
there's still inertia. You have to get a certain mass moving at a certain speed, but it's compared to the rest of the things we're going to do, like the landing on the planet and taking off of the planet, not. No,
that's and that's a whole different type of fuel they use to go up and off the planet. Okay, but yeah, the ship's ready to go. You guys can go up anytime you want to. So. You guys go up the well, dock up with the Jersey Kinross, which Adrian Rogers is docked up with. You guys are able to meet with Captain Simons if you want to. He's willing to meet with you, Myrtle and Wyatt, Mel, anyone who wants to meet with him. He's ready to go and talk about his people. They kind of have a readout with Captain Molina's there. There's the Captain Electric Fog. She's given over as much data as she can about the ship. Kind of giving you a cargo manifest of stuff to try to grab. There's like higher priority materials and lower priority materials by all means. Even trying to strip out stuff like Waxer will probably end up. He's kind of looks like he's being assigned to, and him and Michael are being assigned to strip out like actual parts of the ship, so like thrusters, sensor arrays, stuff like that. Whatever is useful on the ship. They're gonna put it like you guys are basically piranhas on a cow. I mean, like it's space piranha cow situation. You guys are going to just gobble as much of the stuff as you can and bring it back with you, and leave the bones to rot at the edge of the solar system. That's a hell of an image. But yeah, that's pretty much what seems like to be the mission. Did you guys want to talk to Captain Simonsall or ask him anything?
Yeah, I should probably make sure that they're okay with me, after killing their last captain.
No, that's fair. Actually, that's fair. Yeah, Simons meets with you, Wyatt. You guys can meet in the galley. It's an open area. There's people coming and going. The ship still has probably about almost 80 people on board, and including his crew. What is left of his crew? He sits down with you, Wyatt, and he goes, "Yeah, it's gonna be good working together there, Wyatt. We look forward to it." I want to be clear. There's a few of my crew members that are a little bitter about the way that you and your team took to our captain. But I being in charge now for the last few weeks, I understand where you're coming from. So he seems like he's trying to be cordial with you about it.
Yeah, there's definitely I didn't want to do that. I don't plan to ever do that again. Just want us to have a good working relationship and.
Well, he's like, after that meeting with Pope, it put some things in perspective for me for sure. I don't think my people, and I don't think Captain Edwards. He kind of laughs. The Cap used to watch a lot of movies on board. We'd have movie nights occasionally, and he used to like these kind of it's like old-timey movies from where the North American shared interest zone is, about people in desert towns, moving out to the fringes. And I don't know, I think he kind of saw himself as one of these cowboys, gonna come out gunslinging, have a shootout, win the day, maybe lose a few people on the way out, but I don't think he realized that was a fantasy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree with where you're coming from. Yeah.
So I'm
we're good together. We got a good crew here, and I don't think we'll have any problems.
Well, I'll tell you that much right now. I got a few. There's a few of my men that are still a little bitter about losing to the Sinclair. There, so who's this Captain McMichaels I keep on hearing about?
He's a very special fella. You might meet him. I'm sure you'll meet him actually here in a little bit.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to look the man that beat Captain Edwards in the eyes. Okay. But yeah, he goes to shake your hand and everything and part ways.
Sure.
He's like, all right, well, for the mission here, we'll coordinate everything. And if you have any problems, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, and same.
And the two ships are going to go in tandem, and he tells you to thank you for the flight plan. It'll help out a little bit with the fuel. Their ship's a lot less efficient than your guys' ship. It's an older UN model that's been retrofitted, so it's got a lot more mass on it from the. It has an external, almost it looks like it's like a retrofitted cage on the outside almost to kind of reinforce it. It's thick, but it's heavy. That's the best way I can put it. So, all right. They're good to go and start the journey. Anything else before you guys get heading out to the edge of the solar system?
I don't have anything myself.
Okay. Samela is still up on the Jersey Kinross there, Bertle.
Mm-hmm.
And she, is really kind of I don't know. She's kind of asking you about. She's like, so how things? What do you making the whole situation here?
Well, things have been interesting lately. I'll share with her, some of the stuff that we haven't talked about, with a lot of people yet about what's happening with the connections between the IV and all that stuff, and that we may have to make some really important decisions very, very fast. And that if she wanted to, it would be good to see her,
Okay.
and touch base with her and
She kind of goes, wow, okay. He's like, you think it's going to be okay though? Like, right? Like, this isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow or in a month.
I hope not. I hope it's something that that we'll be able to plan better for. Is that I think that the scientists of all flavors are going to be looking at this and monitoring. My hope, just like they used to do on Earth when they were monitoring volcanoes and stuff. So that's kind of the way I look at it. We've got a lot of good science over here. We should be able to have a really good warning before anything would just go bonkers.
She's like, well, I've been doing the predictions because she's like the numbers person of your company. She kind of pulls up like some spreadsheets and some numbers that show projections of like food and fuel and everything like that too. And she kind of shows how like basically what they're doing with the Jersey Kinross, so the colony ship, is they're gonna like start stripping it down and bring down major portions of it down to the gravity well and keep the main ship up in orbit. And they're gonna keep like a skeleton crew up there, like 3 people on board probably. So it's gonna become basically like a ad hoc space station. Like it's what it really is, because they can't bring it down is the problem, but they can bring parts of it down. So there's kind of a debate right now of should they use more of their fuel to bring more parts of it down, or should they like reserve shuttle fuel? And they're currently in talks with the captain of the Jersey Kinross and in talks with Janet Keith, the head of the colony, in terms of logistics. But Samilla's kind of showing the projections, and you look at them, you've seen numbers like she's shown you before. She's pretty good at communicating with you, but neither of the numbers seem like the best solution. They're both like, do we bring more down? Do we hold some back in reserve? What's the choice here?
It's like there's so many unknowns, and it's going to be hard because we have to think about all the different leadership involved in here. We can't just make decisions for every single person.
Okay. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, so you can that's kind
There's a lot to coordinate. And we can't all we can do if we decide to make some hard decisions is just hope that other leaders would be able to see the wisdom of these decisions. And that's where we're going to have the problem, is if we aren't open and honest about all this with, everybody's going to pretty much need to play all their cards for us to get any of it to work.
And she says, I think that's an issue. Hope's sharing his scientist with us, and he's sharing his science with us because that's survival stuff, but he's like, all these numbers, none of this accounts for what Hope has on board his ship.
Right.
And I think his kind of sleeved card, the card he had up his sleeve, was his science team. Now his ace up the sleeve is his resources on that ship. So, but the question is he bluffing or not? That's the question. So,
right.
Or he's not even saying anything about it. That's the thing. It's a wall. There's nothing. There's no descriptions. He's not telling you what he has, what he doesn't have. You do know he has the ice fang, but that's about it.
Right. We're gonna have to have a hard conversation with them. Yeah. Probably sooner than later.
And I should mention, and the other thing too is that legally, Pope has a claim to the material in the electric fog because he did pay for it. That kind of is a trip. He does have a legal, but he also is not really asking for anything off of it. So, because he was going to largely give it to you guys. So there's kind of a weird. Is he going to call it a favor or something like that? Kind of. Is he holding that over? Is he going to hold that over your head?
Right.
But he hasn't said anything. So what kind of game is he playing? Let me go to Zenny. Jan, your brother approaches you.
Mm-hmm. Cool, because I like to think because I was en route to talk to him too.
Okay, perfect.
So maybe we bump in a hallway somewhere.
You both reach for the same cup of coffee. Okay, and you slap his hand. But yeah, you Yeah, he kind of comes up and he goes, "Hey, Zenny, hey, that Dr. Holson, is she's asking some weird questions." He kind of shows you like a message he got from her. He shows you the
Kind of
message.
weird questions.
And,
Yeah.
and it's basically the questions. He's like, well, apparently, like he's like, I'm sure Pope knows this, but like, she probably got it from a file of me, but like she's asking me some questions about working on the behemoth. Remember, he's like, yeah, he's like, and like Medina Station, asking him like some weird technical questions about Medina Station. I mean, I know I can answer them, like, but like, did I?
I mean, she likes ships. I don't know.
This is true.
Why not? I mean, like, what kind of questions? And I'll like take. I'll not even waiting for him to send me anything. I will just take his device from him to read it.
Yoink. Yeah, you grab it. He's like, okay. He knows not to reach in your personal space. He remembers. But he takes a look at it. You take a look at it, and basically, it's like a message her asking like specifications of stuff. And you know what a lot of this is from your time working the docks. A lot of it is asking like, they're like ranges of like sensor ranges, like looking like trying to understand the sensor array on the Naboo behemoth / Medina Station, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, these are like, this isn't just like, most people don't ask these kind of questions about ships usually, but this seems to be more curious about like the sensor array that Medina Station seems to have. And I only know because he's like, I know a bit about it, not too much, because I was just plugging guns into the thing to, but I don't know much more. But like, what do you think she's doing, man? I mean, is she like, I know she won't Pope people and you don't like Pope. We made that clear. I'm with you on that. But I mean, is she cool or what's going on here?
I think she cares.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more than I can say about most of Pope's people. Or Pope.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's okay.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, man,
Yeah.
should I send her what I remember?
Yeah, she might be able to do something about that.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Pope wants to know for his own, hobby or something like that, right? I don't know, but we'll figure it out though. But yeah, okay. And he goes to like puts his hand out to have the pad returned to him. like.
Yeah, and Zenny will kind of like absentmindedly like hand it towards him, and still holding it. Like if he grabs it, she doesn't let it go. Hey, if we were able to go back, you know that message we got from Mom and Dad, right?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. But I mean, like getting through that. I mean, we got 3 warships in this thing. We ain't getting through that gate, man. Now 3 warships, unless you got some sort of.
But if we could, would you want to go? I mean, I know you
hell
had.
Yeah. He's all man. He kind of takes a second and he kind of shakes his head for a second. He goes, when I was serving with Marco, I look back on it. They blew a lot of smoke up my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot. And we were gonna make a difference. We were gonna like help people. That's what he kind of talk about, helping people. And all we were doing, honestly, looking back at it, just robbing people, not making it easier. Provoking Martian aggression. And the Martians weren't going to find us, but they were going to find other Belters. And they're going to take it out on them. Right. Marco wasn't interested in a fight. He was interested in being a bully. And
Zenny just kind of like raises an eyebrow, like like you're not telling, he's not telling her anything new.
Yeah, but like, he's like, yeah, I know, but like, I have to admit it to myself, and I tried to make a difference with the OPA Navy, and that fell apart. We had it was a great, and once again I worked for an asshole, referencing Ashford, and that seems to be my life story. So maybe, I don't know, maybe just but if I could go back there and try to make a difference and fight against Marco, oh fuck yeah, man, I'll be out there in a second. With Shang, yeah.
Cool. And I'll let go of the data pad, and kind of ruffle his hair, and say, "I'm glad you're here, and that at least now you're working for an asshole that you like, maybe."
No, they, Exo's cool, Captain's cool, they're easy to work for, man. McMichael's...
I was talking about me, but that's fine. I'll just give him a little bit of a shove.
He kind of laughs. He goes, okay. He's like, well, that's why I don't come that part of the ship much anymore. He's like, I've been put in my place and I'll stay there. But at the bottom. No, we have fun, man. And McMichael's, he's a fun guy to work with, I actually gotta admit. He ain't too bad. He's fun to talk to. He's good. He makes us all, I don't know how to put it. He makes us all feel a little like our problems aren't as bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to put it. Yeah, so he's like, but yeah, hey, let me know how it goes. We'll be out there. We're gonna be out there soon and gather all that stuff. No problem.
Yeah. Send her all that. Yeah.
Mel, you get like a text from Jan that's like all this like sensor array information about Medina Station, basically all this prototype stuff that Tycho Corporation was building.
Yeah.
You're also gonna get a message.
Sorry,
You're gonna get a message from Zenny also, but please do your thing first before I tell you what Zenny sends you.
Sure. As soon as I get these numbers, like Mel, she's back in space, so she's just like Tom's math, and like the last time she was on the ship, she was just bothering everyone. Now she's really like, if she gets into math, that's what she's doing. So Tom's math. Until someone interrupts her, that's what she's just gonna be in a corner somewhere, feeling the
Excellent.
ship. Doing
Zenny
math.
sends you a message then at some point. Whether you read it or not is up to you, but you do get a message. That just is one question. Why do you care so much about Medina Station?
So I see the message, but until I like the math, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to commit.
Cool.
But I'm mathing really hard.
Cool.
And all this sensor information, and partly as we get towards the ring, I'm like using the sensors on our ships to map out the space and be like, how do we do this? How do we get through this?
So do you guys want to be on your way to the ring then? Is that where you guys want to be on the way?
I think so.
I had that on the Jersey Kinross as well when you guys hadn't left quite yet, but
okay.
But yeah, before you guys, you're
Mel's
still
on the ship. She's ready.
You're on the Jersey Kinross or the Sinclair and null gravity. You're kind of hanging out and doing the math stuff, running the system stuff with the systems and everything. And the Sinclair is pretty good at doing this. It's actually like pretty good at coordinating things. And you have full readings of the Adrian Rogers and the Sinclair. Like, all their capabilities. They're giving you full access to what the ships can do, so your numbers will be accurate. You're not just doing guesswork. But yeah, you start pulling numbers on all this kind of stuff and everything, no problem. Do you have any goal with these numbers?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a way that something could get through the ring, and somehow on the other side, Medina Station would not see it, or see too many things. Like one of the questions to Jan is like, how many things would be too many things to overwhelm the sensors, right?
So
how would it be too many?
So one of the things, Medina Station was built the Naboo was built to go very, very far, and was built with kind of like sensors that are kind of myopic. Like they're very focused on something like that. They want to look at the planet that they want to live on. It wasn't like let's explore the whole galaxy. It's like, let's look at one thing specifically and look back at Earth to talk to them if we need to. And so its communication array and its sensor arrays are very like geared towards that. But it's also not meant for, they're not combat sensors. And that's one thing Jan he has some notes in there and he's kind of bitching about, like the notes for him, like he's like, yeah, this thing was a bitch to hook up to the PDC network because like it was built to track stuff, but not to track things and hit them with bullets. Like we were trying to ask it to do a thing it wasn't built to do. That said, though, like, it's hard for it not to notice things, but it doesn't do well with like tracking smaller things, and especially at certain numbers. And the other problem with it too is that it's only built to look in certain directions at one time. Like it can look in all directions to some degree, but to have like high level sensors, it would have some restrictions. So this kind of goes back to your one of the earlier thoughts you had with earlier meetings about like the inverse approach that you took with the cryo brand, which was like stealth one thing versus make a bunch of stuff visible suddenly.
So Mel is trying to use those specs to work out like how many things and how big would we need so that one small thing could get through, like with a statistically high chance of not being the thing that the Medina station is like, ooh.
It looks like probably, I mean, it could probably track like close to like 100 items coming through, but a various scale is what would throw it off, and reflection would throw it off as well. So, we're talking things that are maybe like something like 5 meters cubed. It can track from a distance, but like
but smaller than that.
Smaller than that, it starts having problems, especially if there's a lot of them. It'll start tracking it as a cloud more. Like it would kind of see like, okay, it's not going to sit there and track all the asteroids in a little belt. It's going to be like, that's a belt of asteroids, avoid it. Right. Like it by default, it would categorize it as one object to avoid if they're at a certain scale. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So when Mel feels like she's got the math and she thinks it can be done, do you want me to roll or?
Yeah, sure. People like rolling dice. I don't want you to come on my show and not roll dice because then I feel bad. Because it's half the fun.
What is it? What am I rolling?
You would be rolling. What would I call this? This would be. I'd probably go physics, and I'd give you the +1 on it because it's part of your knowledge, your expertise, and you can re-roll the topic too.
Okay, so 13 plus 8 is 21 plus 1 is 22.
Jesus.
4 on the drama die.
Very good. Yes, you go ahead and you crunch some numbers, and you have kind of like a proposal of different. You kind of run the simulation using just basically like, for lack of a better term, like just kind of cuboids that would go through. And you kind of keep on running simulations on it. And
spherical cows in a vacuum.
Spherical cows, yeah.
Yeah.
How many cows could Medina Station track is the question? Yeah, let's
exactly.
We put that. That's on the entrance exam to the university, actually.
Okay. As soon as I feel like I've got it, I want to go and find Zenny.
All right. The mission's getting ready to go underway. Everyone's getting ready to leave. You definitely, though. You do find Zenny though as you're getting ready to mount up and get the ships going towards the ring. Absolutely.
Okay. So that was a yes. I can find.
Yeah, you found her.
Zenny?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Where would I find you, Zenny?
Is this before we've
right before you guys are leaving? Yeah. Right before you.
Right before we're departing.
I'm definitely bothering you while you're trying to do something.
Okay. I think. I think Zenny is honestly just making sure that they have any of the things that they brought. They're probably in their quarters. Anything that they brought with them from the colony, they're putting it and stowing it in a way that's useful and easily accessible. So you probably find. I mean, their door's open. You probably find them in there.
Yeah, it's in the crew quarters of the Sinclair.
Okay. Then I'm gonna like peer around the doorway, like holding out my handheld and be like, I got your message. Can we talk?
Yeah. And Zenny will push something into the cabinet and close it and gesture to either the bed or the crash couch that's in here, whichever, and they'll sit down on the bed.
Okay, Mel will sit down on the bed and then immediately get up and sit on the crash couch. Because that's too close. Okay, I think, and like I've just got pages and pages and pages on my handheld of scrolling of equation. I'm just going to scroll through and be like, I think I've worked it out. I think I've worked out how to get something through the ring. Is that something you're interested in knowing more about? Can I tell you about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I asked Jan, I asked your brother about the Medina station, because one of my thoughts was, if we had enough small things, the sensor arrays are designed to really focus on one thing. And so if we could confuse it with many, many things, many small things, then we could slip something through. And I did the numbers, and I think it's possible. And I'm sure it's possible. We might have to blow up the electric fog to do it, to make enough small things. But that's after we get everything off it. But I think we could send someone through. I think we could send someone through. Maybe 2 someones, but I think we could send someone through in a small enough pod. Like you guys did when you took your small pod across originally to the electric fog. That was such a cool idea. That's where I got the idea from. So if we could hide a small pod in a cloud of material, like if we blew up the electric fog, then someone could get through. And I'm just like scrolling through the math, like as if you can understand all of these integrals and derivatives. Like,
yeah, Zenny's like, maybe to Dr. Holson, Zenny's looking at the phone, but Zenny's like focused, like on the floor, has not quite processed exactly what you are implying, that there is a high chance that they could go back. And
Mel is just excited that she solved it, and she wants to share it with you, and she doesn't actually know that if you have any internal desire to do this. I'm just like,
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, I think while you're like scrolling really fast, I think Zenny will I think I'd like to think that when Zenny was interested, they moved closer, like to the side of the bed that was closer to the crash couch, so they could see, what was going on. And she's gonna reach out and kind of place a hand on top of the hand that's been scrolling. And
Mel's just gonna freeze. That's her MO if something scary happens.
You sure this
take a Tums?
Yeah. You sure this could work?
I think the math checks out. I have the array data from Jan. This is how to do it. This would work. I've checked it out. I've double checked it. It would work.
Okay. That's great. I mean, you'd only really be able to do it once, though, right?
It would be a one-way trip. At least from what I could engineer. I could only engineer it one way. I've got the orbit, I've got the trajectory, but it's a one-way orbit. Once the pod gets through and can keep going in a certain direction, once you're far enough away from Medina Station, then you can fire off and get where you need to be. And you need to have someone on the other side somewhere, but you could get through and then solve that problem on the other side. I mean, someone could get through. I'm not saying you, but someone could get through.
Right.
And maybe take a message about the system and what we need and help, essentially. Like if there was a chance to get someone through and to get help from that side that knew what was happening in the Aethra system, that would change everything. Right now, we're all just trapped. And we don't know how long for. But if we could get someone through, a message through, something, that just opens up the possibilities, right? If you do the math, that's just so much more future potential for good things to happen.
Right.
Now, someone would have to get in a pod and let me throw them through the ring with a cloud of debris. But if they let me do that, they could get through. Hold up the math again. This is the truth of the universe.
And you said you could get 2 people, maybe?
Yeah, so what the pod would have to be, fairly a few meters by a few meters. It couldn't be very big. So, just thinking about oxygen, thinking about supplies, thinking about you need some kinds of sensors, communication. You just can't fit more than 2 people in a box like this. The pod was a cool idea that you guys had to get across the electric fog, but this one's got to last a little longer than the hour to get across.
Zenny, while right at the end of your talking, stands up, and if you'll allow it, we'll grab your hand and start kind of pulling you out, not like yanking you, but like pulling you as if to leading you, to wherever the rest of the senior crew are.
Ops. They're up in ops.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna let you hold my hand, but I'm just gonna be like Mel doesn't know what to say about that, but she's not gonna stop it from happening.
Yeah, I would bring you up there. And not I think the 2 of you would see Zenny up there holding on to Dr. Holson's hand and looking, I think both excited and also a little torn on her face, and not really know what to say now that she's here, but would say, Dr. Holson has discovered some math, and she'll notice that she's still holding your hand, and we'll just kind of like lead you forward in front of her a little bit and let you go. She can get someone through the gate.
Yeah, guys, if you have a moment, I think I've worked it out. And now that I'm in a big area with lots of people, I'll like throw it up from the thing to the big screen.
There's like 4 or 5 view screens in here, easily.
Yeah. So I'll throw it up from the handheld onto the view screen, and I will more quickly this time. I'll just get to the bottom of the math, and I'll explain again. Like, there is a way that we can do it, but it's a one-way trip.
Do you want me? Can I describe the visuals?
Yeah.
Okay. So the visuals.
You have an idea.
I have an idea. So I'll help visualize. So the idea is that it's kind of a diagram, and it's super abstract. Like, it literally shows like it's 2-dimensional model of this thing. So it's like there's a line, and then like in the middle of the line is marked, the ring gate, right? And on one side of it is the electric fog, and the other side of it kind of shows like the ring space and Medina Station in the center. And what it then does is it shows like these kind of thrusters that are mounted to the temporary thrusters usually used for like repair maneuvers, kind of mounted to the fog, kind of pushing it towards the thing. Then you see like on the back of the fog is like a little thing noted as pod. And the pod, basically what happens is electric fog, like you see explosions on it somewhat, but it doesn't break apart. Then you see another set of explosions where it gets all pressed and pushed through the gate in pieces, along with the pod behind it thrusting, going along for the ride. And they seem to kind of scatter out of the ring gate, kind of almost like a shotgun type effect, like kind of spreads out. But then like the pod is kind of tracked amongst the debris as going towards kind of like a weird shape towards the Medina Station, basically. Is that fair? Is that a fair representation of it? Okay.
My question is, why?
I mean, we have no way of getting any information out of the system at the moment. It might save someone, it might save 2 people, it might send a message about where we are and what help we need. We don't know what's happening on the other side.
It could send people to Medina Station who know people on Medina Station who could get Inaros to stop.
I mean, the math looks great, but it's still hypothetical. What if you're if somebody's floating towards the station? What happens if you get picked up? What happens if they get shot at? What happens
Well,
It's
if they're in a pod that's small enough, they won't get picked up individually, because that's not what the sensor arrays are designed for. This will be small enough to get through. And if it's in a cloud of material, they will never see that pixel that is the one pod with people in it. They'll just see a cloud. And you were not going to shoot at a cloud.
The other idea too is that like you wouldn't ride the pod. Also, the pod doesn't hit Medina Station. It gets pretty close to Medina Station, but it isn't actually going to try to dock with Medina Station. It's not going that far. But it's like it would be big enough for a spacewalk. By all means, you would have to kind of like people are kind of hard to pick up by these things. They're not meant to pick up individual people floating around space. So.
Well, we literally have no idea what's going on the other side, really, do we? So, I mean, there could be a full-scale bloodbath going on over there. And if someone goes over there, then it could just be another casualty in a war that we have nothing to do with.
You hear Mikhail's up in the cockpit, and after he hears a full-scale bloodbath on Medina Station, he's like, yeah, well, it won't be the first one. And we survived the first one, right?
Not wrong.
I mean, the man made a point. Yeah.
They're not wrong.
But also, Wyatt, to that point, I mean, we might not have anything to do with it, but there's still people over there. And if Inaros is just power hungry and is the only one who has any say over these gates and is the only one, Inaros right now is controlling whether we live or die, and I think that's kind of important, don't you think?
I agree, I do. But who's gonna go? Who's gonna risk it all just to hope for the best? I'm not going.
My parents are on Medina Station right now.
There's that possibility you go across that gate and you never, ever return back.
There's a possibility that this ship explodes in the next 2 days and none of us come back.
Mel goes white.
I mean, by those odds, we're all dead men walking anyway.
And our planet is about to eat us, it seems like.
And I mean, in looking at it, you're probably the one who's best equipped to handle it. You know? Why you and I can't show our faces anywhere?
Definitely can't.
And who are belters but people who sacrifice it all? That's...
So, I mean, if
Mel's gonna like retreat a little bit from the idea that Zenny's gonna go and like physically just kind of step back with the handheld and be like, feels like the situation's getting away from her a little bit. Like, oh, okay.
You want to go across? Do you want to try it? You want to be the one that risks it?
I don't know if there's anybody else who can. I mean, I know what's going on here. I was in the center of the planet for a little bit. I know what Pope is doing. I kind of know what Pope is doing. I know what we're doing, and I know a little bit what Inaros is doing because of what Giannis told me and what my parents have said, and I've been on Medina Station before. We fought on Medina Station before, so I know it's possible.
I have faith that you can get there, but how will we ever know if you do? If the gates close, there's no.
Well, if the gates open back up, you know that I was successful, right? Right?
Sure.
Or whoever goes. I mean,
I think the gates are going to get opened from the other side. I think we in this system have to accept that, right? Like the blockade is on that side, the opening will be on that side. There's no way we can influence that if none of us are there. So we either wait here and accept whatever happens, or we roll the dice one last time and see if we can get there and affect the outcome. It's risky, but it's also the only chance we have of not just sitting and waiting for the fuel to run out for the next 10 years.
We don't have to make a decision right now. We have, 2 weeks before we're gonna get out to the electric fog and get everything off of it anyway, so... I just think that we won't have much time. The longer that it takes us to get back through there, the more people are, could be suffering because of whatever Anaros is doing. I mean, not just the Belters, but, whatever that he all of that stuff that he did to Earth. Well, I'm sure that he's doing stuff to, other Martians and other Belters too. We don't know what he's doing, but we know that he's capable of doing a lot. And none of it's been good.
Like, how something's got to happen to stop him. And we can't let everyone here suffer. And who knows what's going on, and there's so many people who didn't sign up to possibly, have something wake up and kill us all.
Just you by yourself? Is that the plan?
Well, I'm gonna talk to Yan to see if he wants to come. I mean, he said that if the chance ever arose that he would want to go, but this is a little extreme. So I'll be talking to him on our way out.
Should we advertise the opportunity to see if anybody else would like to go instead?
Well, we could always just send McMichaels.
Oh, and the McMichaels will say what?
It was a cap day. I'm sure he can figure it out.
Oh, dear.
Whatever it is, it'll involve torpedoes. It's going to be great.
Yeah, he may take that 10 years to 5 years. Bless his heart.
I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to fight you for it. I'm not going to stop you because it needs to be done, but I think it's a dangerous and stupid idea at the same time.
So it's going through the ring.
Maybe that's all we have is stupid and hazardous things to do. I mean, it's hazards that we've never experienced before.
We live in space. I've spent my entire life floating around in next to 0G, basically. I mean, that is my life. My life has never been easy. The easiest times that I have ever had have been with all of you.
We thought it was going to be easier coming through the ring gate. We were going to have this nice little place to be, and it never seems to work out for us.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to stop you.
Mel's going to look at Myrtle and, like, with her eyes, just be like, will you stop her? Help me out here.
All right. So, did you want to go talk to Jan in person, I guess, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think it's not like immediately after this conversation, but maybe, within a day would go and ask him about it.
Yeah. So you take some time to sit on it and everything. It's kind of there during dinner time and everything. But yeah, you go down machine shop, find Jan. He's down there with McMichaels and Waxor. They're kind of shooting the shit. They're like talking about just whatever is going on. some of them talk about like you know, what happened to Zong and like kind of his punishment, and talk about like it's weird seeing people like Law kind of come back, and they're debating what should have happened, and they're debating the aliens and all that kind of stuff, and you come on down the ladder, no problem. And they go, hey, what's going on, man? And like, we go, hey, Zenny, and Waxer is like, hey, Zenny, and all pretty good, and they're just hanging out there, and they go, what? Jan goes, what brings my my big shot sister all the way down here?
You do.
Oh, okay.
Can I talk? I gotta talk to you about something.
Yeah, sure, we can do that privately. And he kind of goes, there's actually like a bunk down there. There's actually like a crew quarter, like a single room down there. That's mostly where McMichaels and Jan sleep. And they go off, and he goes, yeah, come on in, and he takes you in the room. And it's like off of the machine shop, but the door closes and everything. And you see how Jan and McMichaels live, and it's not pretty. It's like, you know, I mean, I'll give the mattresses aren't on the floor, but it's close.
It's fine.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, he's kind of picking stuff up as you're in there, and he's like, putting some old clothes in the recycler and everything, you know. He's just kind of doing it. He's like, yeah, what's going on, man? How's
So you remember a couple days ago where you said that if there was a way for us to get back, you would be down for it?
Yeah, no problem.
Back through the gate?
Yeah.
We could go.
Well, we're not going to take the Clearing ain't built right now for combat. Like
No. Dr. Holson figured out, with all the stuff that you gave her, how to get the two of us through.
Oh.
Just us, and just one way through.
Gotcha. He's kind of like, how? Like, you have like, I mean, I'm sure you have like
I don't know, math and science and.
You have like the presentation.
I'm not gonna give him. I'm not giving him shit. I'm not giving him anything. I don't care. I just kind of wave it off, being like, I had some. A lot of impressive things, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, if she's got a way, I'll take a look and see what we can do.
Do you want to?
Yeah. He's all, hell yeah. He's like, I know Medina Station well, you know, and if anything that puts my fist.
Hang on. Don't think about what's maybe going to happen. Think about everything that you're going to be walking away from. Think about everything that you're going to leave behind, because 1, there's a chance that we don't even make it. And 2, there's a chance that we never come back.
Well,
right?
He's like, I haven't even seen the planet up close yet. He's like, I don't think I'm ever going to head down the well to it. Doesn't seem, I mean, I haven't really asked you about it because I'm kind of embarrassed to ask. But, you know, what's it like being on the planet? But that's not really for me. I'm pretty burnt about this Inaros thing. And I thought we were done. I thought the OPA Navy thing would be the end of anyone that believed in his bullshit. But apparently people were looking for another fight. I mean, what am I leaving behind? And if you went, I didn't go, what am I here for, you know? So, yeah, no, I'm in it. Let's do it. I'm down. Let's just do it. Yeah, me and you. The Pezahls. We do this thing. Yeah, and Mom and Dad out there, they got a plan. You know they got a plan. They always had a plan. Just they didn't always involve us, but I gotta admit, it's weird them asking us for help, right?
Maybe they finally got smart.
And all we had to do is go to alien worlds, right? You know?
I guess.
Yeah, man, you know, the people, you know, what do you do? Oh, I go to alien worlds. Oh, that's nice, son. You know, that's all I felt like. No, yeah, they got desperate or they got smart. One of the two. Either way, though, At least stay on the right side.
Yeah. Well, they kind of... They at least say that they are, so we'll see if that's true.
Yeah. I mean, them saying that Dawes teams up with Daenerys, that kind of blew my mind. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, it'd be good. But yeah, if you're going, I'm going. That's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna let my sister go alone. I don't know. We got through Sirius Station together all those years.
Yeah.
We get through this thing together too. We got through the slow zone incident together. We always do it together. We'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides, that thing, we shoot that thing through the ring, it's gonna break. I'm gonna have to fix it sooner or later. So I'd rather be there than not.
Yeah, and then I'll have to fix you because you'll be outside of the ship.
Exactly. The system works.
Yeah.
You pick up. I don't know how you roll, but you pick it up that he's playing off this he's trying to laugh about shit because he's terrified.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to laugh his way through it.
He would pick up that very similar energy from Zenny.
All right.
They know each other enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they're practically the same person at this point.
Yeah, they're in it to win it. So yeah, he's good with it. He goes, all right. Was like, look,
don't go telling everybody.
well, I gotta look at this plan first. What do we gotta build for this thing? That's the question. What do we gotta put together? What do we gotta rig? Because they ain't just gonna throw up in spacesuits.
All right. And then I'm just gonna send him all this stuff. Okay. Just, I just don't want people to.
No, I ain't gonna tell McMichaels. He'll fuck it up. But you better. I tell you this much, man. Go do something with Waxor or something. Just go watch a movie with him or something like that. You don't tell him what's going on. Just do something with him before you leave here. I'll take care of all this shit. I can do this. He's like, this is easy. Yeah, I can put this together. This is just She designed ships?
She really likes ships.
I mean, it's a beer can with a rocket taped to it.
I mean, it's supposed to look like trash, right?
I guess the design philosophy won out then. Okay. Fair enough. That was actually a very good perspective. I would give you experience points for that if I could. It's supposed to look like trash, right? Well, yeah, okay. Fair enough. So yeah, he kind of walks out and he gives you a hug. He's like, yeah, we'll do this together. We'll make it together. Yeah. Yeah. We can pull some parts. And there's some parts of the electric fog. He's got the full manifest access. He's like, there's some parts here and there we can grab. Big Michaels and Waxer were going to take off thrusters of that thing. The thrusters of the very large cargo ship more than meet the needs of the thrusters for this small box. You're now being Titan rocket to a beer can at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a scale. It'll scale up quite nicely. But yeah, he's more than ready for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. He kind of starts going through and making a list of parts. He might want to talk to Dr. Holson though.
That's fine. It's her ship.
Okay. All right.
It's her math.
Her math. Okay.
I love ships. This time I'm gonna love blowing one up.
So he kind of goes through it with you, and he's going through the materials and everything for it, and he goes, all right, so how do you want to, Jan's kind of sitting down with you, Holston, and he says, all right, how do you want to blow this thing up? Because demolitions ain't exactly what we do here. We tend to put things back together and don't really try to blow up a certain part. Do you have any ideas on how to get this thing to crack or?
Yeah. So we did leave some torpedoes on board, right?
Yeah, you guys have magazines of them, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So what we want to do is basically a timed detonation, right? Rig the electric fog up with these thrusters to shatter it all in different directions, and have torpedoes inside on a timed detonation. It really has to be done very precisely. The one thing I cannot stress too much is this orbit has to be almost perfect. But we can do it. This is the math. I have the whole ship. I have the torpedo power and direction. We're going to set it up and we're going to blow it up right before it hits the ring. Okay. So that it goes through in pieces.
Okay.
and we send the Sinclair, flings off the pod, flips around. You guys will all be strapped in, and the pod goes with the cloud of debris from the frog. It's going to work. Time to detonate.
Well, look, I'm tell you right now, there's no one on this ship that does that kind of work, but there's a gal in the Jersey Kinross that does demo stuff. Just do rock hopping or something like that, breaking up rocks.
Perfect.
I think she might be the one that could maybe like rig this, but she's on the Adrian Rogers, so she's not far.
Okay.
And I'll see what kind of resources they have over there. The number of torpedoes you basically guys need like maybe 5-6 torpedoes to do this properly.
Right.
Not to mention you could also pull you could pull the Epsteins off of that, but that would eat up fuel pellets too. But
I think we can do it with the torpedoes.
Yeah, you just have to take the cores out. You just have to take the detonator. You don't even need the full torpedo. You can actually just empty out. The torpedoes are built to be emptied out, so you can take the detonator out of it and keep the torpedo together still. But yeah, you just take the detonators out or the charges out, the warheads out. Excuse me. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I got this. There's someone I've been talking to on the Jersey Kinross that could rig something like that. She'd be the one to talk to.
Okay.
Old rock hopper type, kind of weird, but yeah, I can get them to. I'll send the numbers over and I'll get them to do it. The pod, yeah, we could rig this. I'm gonna have to. Fortunately, we didn't bring a lot of supplies with us, so I'm gonna have to salvage a bit of the Sinclair and the Adrian Rogers to do so. But I think we got enough. We got some extra bulkheads here we don't really need.
The only thing that has to be really precise about the pod is the mass. That's when I don't care as much about the shape or that, but the mass has to be this.
Okay.
She points at the mass.
Specifications. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll get Jenkins and McMichaels on rigging this thing up here. We should be able to pull that. I think we pulled some of the thrusters off of the thrusters we salvaged off the electric fog should be able to do what you need to do. But yeah, we'll get knocking out on this while we're out there. It should take like a week to do it, and then they have to salvage stuff there. So, you guys, is there anything else on the way there that Myrtle, Wyatt, Zenny, Holson want to do in the extra, like the week you have left? And then Zenny, you're keeping your departure along with Jan's departure, kind of it. And what's the cover story for making this pod? Like, what's the cover story? I'm kind of curious. You tell the rest of the crew.
A probe through just to see what we could find out.
That's a fucking good answer.
And it's small. It's small enough that you could call it a probe.
Yeah,
Not a lie.
it's autonomous because we have autonomy, right? But yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, they kind of rig it and put it together, and Jan kind of tells them to put everything together except for putting like the crash couches into it and the supplies in it. But he kind of has them like sectioned off and ready to go to strap them all in. Okay, anything else, Myrtle, Wyatt, before you guys get there?
I don't have anything. Wyatt will keep quiet most of the trip there, though.
Myrtle, anything?
You're muted.
Yeah.
Donna, you're muted.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, it's all the sneezing.
That's all right. We appreciate it.
So I'm gonna sit in the pilot seat. I'm gonna sit with Mikhail,
Okay.
and we're gonna go through numbers and making sure that at least our end of everything is a-okay.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, this flight path that Holson put together is pretty good, man. I can only imagine what she'd do if she had more time. This is... You bring her on full-time, Cap? This would help me out a lot. No? Too expensive? Yeah. No? All right.
No, I mean... Nah.
Oh, fair enough, man. All right. But yeah, he's like hanging out with you, and he's just like... So all that stuff about going to the ring with Denny, she really gonna do that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it's important. I think it's important for Zenny. I think it's incredibly important for us too, for all of us. And I think it's a brave thing to do, and it doesn't surprise me in the least that they would volunteer for this.
You're like, no, I agree. I got people back home that I'm worried about. And if Zenny could even get a wood to my family, if they're he's like, shit, if they're still alive, that'd be a lot. You think? Hey,
Yeah.
do you think she'd take a video message for me through?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I know she'd have to like sneak it out, but I mean, I can't think of anybody on the ship here would be better at sneaking out a message than her.
Yeah, that's another reason why that I was, we're just in such an awkward and dangerous position, and helpless. So I think that she would be the best, and I think that any kind of messages we want to send through, I believe they can make it happen. So
Yeah.
you record what you need, and then talk to Zenny, about what that they can do for you, how they want the messages, and then we should probably all put something together.
Yeah, I'll put I'll put my little quick pack together. I got family back on Sirius Station. Fuck, I hope it's still there.
Right?
But he kind of says, but if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Zenny and Jan, man.
Yep.
You haven't been up here, Cap. Yeah, you've been down in the well for a while, but Jan goes on about the behemoth, his time on the behemoth lot. He knows that ship inside and out. I mean, you'd have be like trying to get rid of the rats on Ceres. You can't once they're there, you can't get rid of them. So I think Jan's gonna be a thorn in the side of anybody trying to overtake that station.
That's good.
All right. Zenny, you get a message from Mikhail, another Ceres belter on the ship up in the pilot seat. And basically, it's basically a thing saying, "Hey, I heard. Sorry, because I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your guys' conversation, but you guys talked right next to my head. So you forwent privacy." And he's like, it's like a packet attached, and he says get this to these people on Sirius. They're usually on Sirius stations. My family. These are their names. These are addresses. Basically their email address and stuff like that. He's like, if you can get this to them, I'd really appreciate it. And if he's like, but I understand, you got to play secret agent. But if you just drop it in the network at some point, and it's like scrubbed of any origin. It just says it's just something you would drop off and it would anonymously go to their mailbox kind of thing. There would be no from. So it's just him and he's just hit a text message because he doesn't really leave the cockpit much, just saying, "Where'd you do this from?" But it's up to you.
Yeah, Zenny will reply, absolutely. And then it gets her thinking, and maybe when they're about a day out or so, Zenny would bring it up to the rest of the senior staff here about telling everybody that they're going to be going, so that they can bring back any messages that people have, and get whatever information gathered from the senior crew here and anybody else on the ship to pass on while I'm there.
So yes, you're asking Myrtle and Wyatt.
Yeah, I'm just going to them to say with this idea of I think we should. I think I'm going to tell people so that we can start getting stuff together, because I'm sending this thing for Mikhail, and I think it's important that we all have an opportunity to send things to people that we care about.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I think everybody should know.
Okay.
As long as it stays between these two ships, let's not get it back to Pope quite yet.
Yeah.
So the Adrian Rogers people would From what you gather from what like Inaro's kind of said in this thing, basically the only gate that's open is the Soul Gate. So basically back to like the main solar system. New Burham, where like the people from the Agent Rogers from, that's locked off.
Yeah.
Like it would be.
Yeah. So Zenny's prioritizing the Sinclair, basically.
Right. So you can talk to. Let me pull my crew list here. There's McMichaels.
Yeah. I would basically. I would basically collect everybody. Okay. I would fashion an all crew meeting because this is the easiest thing to do. Instead of going to 1-to-1.
The ones that really take you up on it, aside from Mikhail, would be Peter Jenkins and Critty. McMichaels doesn't seem to really have his people or whoever he's around. It kind of is what you kind of gather about him. He's not really talked about his parents or like brothers or sisters, something like that too. He's kind of in the moment. But Critty and Peter are both from Earth. And Peter is from the North American Shared Interest Zone, and Critty's from the Shared Pacific Asian Interest Zone. And Critty is actually very interested in this. Critty, kind of the medic for the crew, is like, oh God, this is like, you're serious? Like, look, my parents don't live that far from the coast, and these asteroids, I'm sure, like, I saw some of the footage from the North American East Coast, and I mean, I can't even imagine anyone on the Pacific side of what they would go through. So, like, if I can try to send something out, that would be amazing.
Yeah, if you can get it as small a packet as you can make it.
And once you do, she gets her little thing, and she's just like, saying like, Mom, Dad, like her sisters, she's just like going on, and like she kind of does it like you can kind of like, you're welcome to walk away from her while she's doing it and give her privacy.
Yeah.
But she kind of just starts as soon as you give her permission. She's so like distraught. You can tell a lot of emotion's been built up in her for a while. Jenkins is like he, like, you tell him and he's like, give me a second, and he cuts a thing, and it's just him saying like, he goes, hey Hank, I just want you to know Daddy loves you, and that's all he says, and he shoots it over. Sorry, I didn't mean to get anyone's emotions there. But yeah, he just shoots a quick one. And he shoots us quick enough where like you're not even out of the room yet. So, I mean, he goes to shake your hand.
Oh, you don't gotta do that.
He's like, no, I want to do that. He's like, you're you guys stepped up for me and accepted me in back on Ganymede when we had some issues. And it doesn't go lightly. And this, I'll be honest, you're I don't know what's going to happen with this. I may never know what happens on the other end of it, but you're giving me at least a shot at it. And that's more than I ever thought I would get. So if my little boy can hear that one more time, that's all I need.
Zenny just nods and doesn't respond, but will take his hand and give him a he's kind of firmer. He's gonna give him like you can tell it's a very Earth like custom. But he's trying to engage with you. He's trying to feel back to that kind of reality. He felt like the next like an opportunity to have that reality, and it's kind of coming through on him. But yeah, he goes right back to work. Yeah, I think the rest of the day or the trip getting out there, I think Zenny is pretty much in their quarters the entire time. Compiling all these things, working on other things. But it's pretty much just there. Except like to eat or if anybody goes to find her or anything.
During the trip, there's kind of, as you guys approach on the decel towards the Electric Fog's derelict, and it's not much farther away, it's just kind of like floating away from the gate. you and Adrian Rogers kind of come in. The guys start setting stuff up outside the ship. The pod moves outside the ship, the quote-unquote probe. And people start heading over to the electric fog to start working on it. They bring the ships in about as close as they can. They start going through and pulling off stuff. The whole operation is probably going to take to get all the stuff off of that ship, probably like 4 or 5 days to take it all. It's still quite a bit, and a lot of it got loosened up in when it got shot and damaged. But the operations start going under no way. Waxer is mostly working on the thing. Jan, he wants to show you something, Zenny, in the cargo hold, and he brings out these like spools. He's got giant spools. Looks like cable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, check this. He's like, I didn't think they even had this out here. And he's like, check this stuff out. You want to take a look at it, or? Okay. It looks like spools, and it's like marked like hazardous materials, but it's like a spool of like cable, maybe yay thick. And he's like, it's detonation cord. You ever seen this shit? He's all checked.
Maybe we might have confiscated it once on series, but that's like,
he's like, well,
not this much.
He's like, exactly. You just put it up against a bulkhead, and it'll rip that bulkhead a line through that bulkhead. We're gonna use this to like set that shatter pattern that it's like if you took like a piece of like a plastic ball, right, and you took like a knife and you kind of scored it and then detonated a firecracker in it, like a little explosive in it, it would go in those little shapes would break in that pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the our little demolitions friend from the Jersey Kinross apparently decided to bring this through in case we couldn't get access. So lucky us, right?
Wow. Yeah.
But listen, I'm gonna go and start rigging this stuff on the electric fog. Look, I'm gonna be helping out, trying not to make it too weird for the rest of the crew. But like, if you need me to do anything or anything, I'm just live call away. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And he kind of starts getting back to work, doing that whole like, I'm gonna work so like I don't think about the danger in the days type thing. All right, Zenny, you're on the ship with Mel. Pretty much only Mel, Wyatt, Myrtle, and Critty are aboard, and Mikhail. Jan, McMichaels, and Waxer are all hitting it. The crew that Adrian Rogers is over there as well, like taking this thing apart, pulling parts as much as they can, etc. Do you guys have anything you want to do in the meantime, or?
Mel, I mean, once she realized that Zenny was the one who wanted to go through, I've been obsessively checking the math for 2 weeks just to make sure that there's nothing wrong. And a tiny part of her is hoping there is something wrong and that it turns out it doesn't work, but she just keeps confirming that it will work. And she's like, okay. And then just like starting again. And then as it gets to the time when, things are starting to get ready, she's gonna like beg, borrow, or steal coffee off someone and like take it to Zenny.
Oh, I know. All right.
And be like, hey, how you feeling? I got you some coffee.
Oh.
I don't know if it's any good, but
it is the last of your good coffee, Zenny.
Oh.
She grabbed your stuff.
I made you your own coffee.
Because
Because I'm a dweeb. I hope you were planning to drink it before you got in the pod.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you feeling okay?
Feeling a lot of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I checked the math again. It's gonna work. Hopefully you don't feel like that part is worrisome.
No, you know ships and you know math, so those are I didn't really have any sort of doubt with that.
But I didn't know bravery until I knew you. This is such an incredible thing you're doing. I know ships and I know math, but I didn't know belters.
I wish you. I wish there were more. I'll take the coffee. I hope you can meet more Belters. Because there's some really shitty ones out there too.
There's some really shitty Earthers out there too.
I've met plenty of them actually. Yeah, yeah. I seem to only meet mostly shitty ones. Yeah.
Well, I think what you're doing is giving everybody the chance to meet more people who aren't just like them, and I think that's the only way we grow as a civilization, is by keeping on meeting people who aren't like us. Otherwise, it's just the echo chamber. So I just wanted to say I think you're so brave. Then she's going to sit awkwardly.
Have you thought about not going back to Pope?
I think when you were asking around previously about people sending messages back, I don't have anyone. That's partly why I went with Pope when he asked me to do this cool thing and design these cool ships. There isn't anyone. So I was like, I'm gonna go build some of the coolest ships we've ever seen.
That's... Don't take this the wrong way. That's a good thing to hear. Could you do me a favor then?
Anything.
You said you don't really have anybody over there. Could you look after the people here? Because I'm leaving them behind, and
like a reasonable part of Mel thought you were going to ask her to go with you, and it's like, yes, of course, yes, I'll do everything I can. I mean, it's just math, but it'll be useful, and we'll wait for you to come back, and we'll wait for you to open the ring, and we will know that will happen. We'll do everything we can to hold strong, and I'll do the best I can as well to keep everyone here safe. I'm going to go back and work out what's activating in the planet, stop the proto-molecule. That's my job. Don't worry about that. We got that under control.
I think you're doing a really good job.
I wasn't before, but I hope I'm doing a better job now.
Well, I didn't know you before, so I'm only going based on what I've seen. And
seeing better people makes you a better person. And then Belle, that's just like, we're too, like, she's timing out, right? This is so awkward socially that this is all of the things she could say. She's gonna take a chance, and she's gonna be like, all right, I'll be working out here. And she's gonna leave as fast as she can. And go and sit there and be like, she didn't ask me to go. That's okay. No, I'm going to stay here. She gave me a job. I have something to do. I will keep everything until she comes back. So she's going to go off and flail about mentally for a while.
Zenny will kind of... There's like a small smile as the doctor leaves, and Zenny just kind of holds this cup of coffee. And will sip it while working on some putting together some stuff that she was working on the last week or so.
The operations on the electric fog are going quite well. The ship's like slowly filling back up. Some of the Adrian Rogers has gotten wind of like the pod, the quote unquote pod, the probe as it would be, and they're really intrigued by this. Jan's come back over and like started rigging some of the thrusters from the ship on. They're kind of like basically like he's rigging them in such a way that like you wouldn't be able to recharge them. He's not really concerned about recharging the thrusters. He's like, we're gonna fire them, get it. We have about an extra 10% in them in case we have a problem, but they're mostly maneuvering thrusters. He's also kind of started like salvaging. He ends up finding some like drones on the electric fog, and he kind of starts like taking their like electronic sensors and like rigging them to the pod to use as like guidance systems and everything. So like he's kind of jerry-rigging this. He's trying to keep the mass number there, but it's kind of like he's playing kind of a delicate game with that, and he's still he's still trying to make a best guess for both his and Zenny's math and stuff like that too, and trying to keep it together. But he's been working on that. What's up?
From whatever Mel can see from a distance, like she's kind of keep track of it. She's just like backseat driving.
Yeah,
like, maybe a bit to the left. Can you see on the diagram? It's got to be right here.
Yeah, he has like a shared helm camera with it, and you also have the external cameras of the ship, so you can see him operating on no problem.
Left, more left.
He's like right. That's
left.
No, that's right. You're wrong. And he keeps on moving through it, and like he's kind of. You guys keep on seeing like occasionally some chatter between Mel and Jan, and he's in good spirits about it too. And he goes, he's like, I just want you to. He's like, look, Mel, I appreciate what you're doing for us here, and I don't know. He's like, I'm just, I gotta, and I'm not. He's like, he kind of laughs about it. He's like, I'm not so worried about surviving the trip. From your science and your math, I'm just worried about being locked in a pod with my sister for a few days. Yeah, he's like, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
I mean, it started out as a really interesting puzzle to solve. I love puzzles, and then when I realized we could do it, it became an exciting opportunity. And now that you guys are leaving, I don't know how I feel.
Well, I don't know. I think we're gonna at least make a few people. I think us leaving, and from what Zenny told me about these messages, a few of these messages, a handful of messages were sent back.
You guys are doing something incredible for the system.
Even
just the chance to get a message back.
Even the chance to get a message back, I think we're up in morale a little bit. A little bit of hope will go. Because he's like, I mean. I must have watched that footage, that message a few times, and it got easier and easier to think we're never going back. So
I'm glad that we have the chance, and I'm glad that you'll get to fulfill your wish.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I don't know how. I really don't know how McMichael's going to take this when he hears I'm leaving.
I'll go talk to him. Do you
want to go talk to
conspiracy theories. Yeah. When you go, I'll distract him.
Here's my question. Do you want to talk to him while he's working on the electric fog, or do you want to talk to him when he's back on the ship?
No, back on the ship.
Okay.
I don't want to distract him while he's working.
He is a walking self-distraction. You can't distract him more than he distracts himself. He's that kind of guy.
I'll wait till he's back on the ship.
But yeah, he gets back on the ship. And do you want to hit him up like down in his quarters when he goes from the galley, when he's getting off his vac suit taken off? What do you want to hit him up?
As soon as he arrives, he's taking off his vac suit. How did it go? Did it look good? Did everything go the way it was planned? How do you feel? Oh yeah, man. He's like, no, it looks good, man. We brought a bunch over, man. That 80 rod's got a lot of space inside of it. Things deceptively roomy. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no, we bring all kinds of stuff over. Are you confident that it all went well? She's like really focused that the electric fog is set up right. I mean, we're taking stuff off. What do you mean set up right? He's not really in on the plan. Oh, okay. He was. I thought you said he was setting up the thrusters. He was pulling the thrusters out, like he was salvaging them, but he didn't know what the plan to go through the ring. All right. He's like, so how many thrusters did you get? How many look good? How many are in working order? Half a dozen we got. No problem. All right. More than enough. That's good. He's like, that probe you and Jan are working on, man. That one of those thrusters is more than enough. And then we got some control thrusters on that. We kind of get a few extra ones here and there. We have some scraps down in the basement there. Easy to do, no problem. Thank you. That's a really great job. Thank you. Yeah, but what's this about rigging why are you so worried about the electric fog? I think it's just a floating hunk of junk. I mean, we gotta strip it down to the bone, right? Yeah, but we don't want to leave it for anyone else, right? So when it's stripped, get rid of it.
He kind of leans in kind of close. He goes, who are we leaving it for? Who's coming for it? Someone coming for it?
Well, that's what we have to find out, right? That's what we're doing.
Is that what all that stuff on the other side of the planet's about? They coming for it? Who coming for it?
If we don't know, but if they are, they can't get it, right? She's gonna go full conspiracy theory.
Okay, yeah, he kind of takes a second. He's like, okay, yeah, maybe they come. They gotta come for. Okay, I see what you do. This is gonna be bait. We're gonna bait them out. Okay,
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart move. Yeah, we bait them out. We go and we eat all the good bait first, and then we leave the crappy bait. That's smart. Okay.
That's right,
Okay.
but we leave it rigged, so if they come, right?
Is that what all those explosives were? Why we were pulling that stuff over?
What do you think?
Oh shit! You guys gonna fuck us some aliens, huh?
We're not gonna let them fuck us first. Right. Then she's gonna peace out.
Yeah, he's kind of left with like some food for thought there. He's
Yeah.
like, okay.
That's what I was hoping. Like, you get distracted with these
Yeah.
ideas, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
But we got 6 thrusters. That's great. She feels.
There's more than enough thrusters for this. I mean, they're big thrusters for so they're more than enough for this little beer can thing. Okay, yeah. All the operations are going off like a hitch. All of it's not a problem.
Mhm.
It's coming up. It's the last day of the salvage operation. Zenny, like your time's kind of running out here on the ship. Waxer's been super busy. McMichaels has been busy. Jan's been busy. Wyatt's been kind of checking and watching stuff. Myrtle, you're keeping the ship in operation and keeping it like stable and everything along McHale. You guys are taking shifts of piloting the thing. Zenny, right now, like according to Mel's calculations, you're like 24 hours off from taking your little flight. Your manned flight through the gate here. What kind of stuff do you guys want to do?
I think everyone in the senior crew,
Mhm.
including Dr. Holson, is
Okay.
included in this.
Okay.
And not and McMichaels. We'll include McMichaels. Why not? I think is invited to a movie night.
You set up the galley. Do you want to do this on the galley? I take it
Yeah.
because the cargo bay is full right now.
Yeah. Wherever there's space, and I mean, there's only what six-ish of us.
Yeah, and the galley can hold like 12 people, but right now the galley does have like crates in it, like they're actually like stacking stuff against the walls where they can. But yeah, you guys can have enough seats, and there's a pretty good size. There's a pair of view screens in here, no problem. Yeah, you guys have like plenty of food and everything. Drinks is not a problem. But yeah, you call in Waxer, you call in Wyatt, Myrtle, Dr. Holson, and McMichaels. And they all kind of like come on in. And some of them know what's up, some of them don't know what's up. They all kind of mosey on in, and movies kind of sounds kind of fun, and
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, they're game for it.
Yeah, the for anyone like basically for McMichaels, but Zenny would say that it's we've been working really hard, and this is just a little you can't just work all the time.
That's what I've been saying, man. Yeah, we got to kick it back once in a while.
Right, but you gotta work sometimes, McMichaels. Is that you go too far sometimes.
Oh, okay. I'm
in
sorry.
that
I'm
direction.
I'm the one that defeated the Adrian Rogers in Mortal Kombat. So okay, I understand.
Sure.
You did one good thing. You'll never hear the end of. Then you do think that okay, well I guess I won't have to hear about that again. That is one benefit of going. But yeah, he's like, he kind of goes about that, but he's like, all right, man, what are we watching? What kind of movie is it going to be? I'm really curious. What kind of movie would Zenny show these people? Because I have no clue.
I think that Zenny would go with a kind of like a fun-filled action flick.
Okay.
So, something along the lines of like John Wick, which is like action, but also is like nice, or something that's got a little bit of humor to it.
Okay.
But isn't a full comedy or anything like that.
Okay. So yeah, you start, the movie kind of kicks up and starts on.
I feel like that says something about Zenny, that John Wick is fun-filled action film.
It's the feel-good movie at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I like it.
The Matrix is a chuckle fest. Don't you see it? Can't you see it?
I love it. Okay. Let me I gotta see if I can find something quick. I'm trying to find like a random movie name generator. Okay, yeah. The name of the movie is called, I'm not gonna use the first one that came up because it's called The Rebel of Outer Space. That's too easy. It's gonna be called Strangers and Mercenaries.
Yes.
Yes. That actually sounds like kind of,
yeah.
Maybe
it's a terrible movie. It's not a good movie. It's like not even a B film that like could be okay. It's like it tried to be good and it tried too hard, and then it went so hard that it's actually bad.
Myrtle, you remember seeing the marketing for this movie way back, and it was marketed as a rom-com, and it is not a rom-com. A lot of people went on very bad.
It sounds like a buddy comedy or something.
Right. A lot of people went on really bad dates to this film. It's that kind of movie. And it wasn't the people that went on the date's fault. It was the movie's fault and the advertisers, the marketing. But yeah, it's kind of like this weird buddy comedy / like odd couple action movie, and here's my question, Zenny. Is it a Belter movie, or is it like an Earther movie or Martian movie, or like who would have made it?
I think it's an Earther movie. Yeah. Because Zenny's not playing something that they would watch. Zenny is playing something that they think that everybody else would watch.
The one good thing about the film is the music's actually pretty decent. Martian movies are not known for having good music, but this one actually has like solid soundtrack. That's the one redeeming quality. Actually, like the soundtrack did better than the film did in theaters, or on demand video. So yeah, it is solid. Like it's you guys gotta watch it. Waxer gets up and like starts making some food. He starts making like I'm trying to describe it. It's freeze-dried kibble. So he starts freeze-drying the kibble to suck the water out of it. So it's kind of like a quasi popcorn almost, like cheese, like almost like cheese, like flavored cheese puffs in a sense, but like kind of thing you would eat, like you kind of a movie flavor. He starts making it for everybody. Freeze-dried Belter kibble. So
it's really not that bad.
It really is. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's got the flavors. It's that fake cheese, but the fake cheese works with the texture.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to eat fake cheese unto itself, but if you have the right texture, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the freeze dried does it so well. But
Pork rind texture.
Yeah, kind of pork rind texture. Yeah, that helps you.
I've heard so many ideas now about the food.
Mm-hmm.
Food in the Expanse is one of my favorite topics. Like, so,
it's wild.
I'm only thinking this because my wife and I literally just bought some freeze-dried Skittles. They're actually pretty good.
Well, those things are delicious.
They're really, it's really fascinating.
I have more questions for after the episode.
Okay, please. But yeah, it's so yeah, you guys enjoy the kind of film and everything, and let me ask this question, Zenny. Where do you want to sit here? Do you want to sit towards the front, the back, next to anybody? Do you want to sit in between, amongst the crowd? Where would you want to sit?
I don't think that Zenny would say anywhere in particular, like nowhere specific. I think that they'd probably try to like center-ish amongst all of these people. Yeah, I think somewhere in the middle-ish.
Mel's gonna hover at the edge.
Oh.
Right.
Watch everyone.
All right. So everyone's gonna have a good time. Waxer and McMichaels are both like you're realizing that these are not the kind of people you'd want to watch like an emotional film with.
Yeah.
They're kind of.
So I didn't pick one.
Yeah, they get kind of rowdy during it. McMichaels is very much like, oh my god, did you see what happened to that guy's head? That's wild. Like,
yeah.
Like it's.
There's a reason I didn't pick a good movie.
Yeah. And they're kind of having a fun. They're kind of having a fun time with it. What about Myrtle and Wyatt? How do you guys react to a film like this?
I would say Wyatt's definitely enjoying it. That cheesy B-rated stuff. It's always worked.
I know about you. I know about your personal taste, Scott. And
that bleeds over into Wyatt.
Yeah, the Fangoria. I think you're wearing a Fangoria hat. Isn't telling us different. So you're very dressed for the occasion, I would say. So what about you, Donna or Myrtle? What would you kind of think about this kind of film? Or what would you say, or how would you react?
I've made sure I've get the not really popcorn
Mm-hmm.
that have kind of showed up with the bottle to pass around for shits and giggles.
What do you have a bottle of?
Nice Ganymede gin.
Nice Ganymede gin. Okay. So
Been holding on to the stash here to bring it out for Zenny.
McMichaels gets louder.
And I also want to make sure to sit by Zenny at least for a moment, and just and say, "Hey, I made you something." And I have where I've put together with like little pieces of like fabric and string, a mini version of the bunny slippers. Just to keep in your pocket. And then I'll just pass the bottle.
As long as they don't weigh too much, that's okay.
Yeah.
No very dense gifts to Zenny.
You're like really confused.
They're made out of cast lead.
It's just like, yeah.
Zenny will leave behind, like, I don't know, something.
Right.
Yeah.
If it means the weight needs
swap
to,
them out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of swapping, if needed. But yeah, that goes immediately into the coat pocket.
No words are exchanged. Just a gracious nod. What about you, Wyatt? What do you got here? I'm curious now. What about you? What about you? And knowing this is like the last 20 some odd hours you'll spend with Zenny.
I'll walk up to her and I'll sit down.
Okay.
And just good or bad, you're never coming back to the Sinclair, are you?
I don't know why. It really all depends on what goes on out on the other side of that ring. 'Cause I mean, there might be a good chance that I stay on Medina Station for a real long time trying to get things put back together, and I don't know, maybe they might need me a little bit more than the colony needs me here.
You send a message when you get across?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I
Just
will.
just make sure Jackrabbit's doing all right.
Yeah.
I have faith that she'll be all right. And Mundos is always going to be a great place to retire. You always got the nice warm side.
The impending doom of a planet that's gonna probably eat us all. That's exact. I mean, if I'm gonna retire, that's the best. That's the best kind of place to retire to.
Exactly.
Honestly. Someplace with a, I don't know, time limit. That sounds weird. That sounds bad. I take it all back. Zenny's had a decent amount of gin to drink.
Gotta make gin.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a promise that once we're back through that gate ourselves, however long that may be, the Sinclair will come look for you.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Then I'll go back to the movie. I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
It's so bad. And then he just takes a whole handful of like the kibble.
Yeah, the best I can describe the kibble is some of the chats. It's like it's kind of like the pirate booty stuff, you know. That kind of cheese stuff. It's kind of like the cheese, like those high quality cheese, but it's more.
Cheese.
Well, but it kind of like that. It kind of has a waxy texture at the end.
My favorite edible text food thing.
All right, I mean upset you, but yeah, no, it's not the best, but it works, you know, because you guys are middle space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the movie goes over pretty well, and the movie kind of ends, and the lights come back on, and McMichaels and Waxer are kind of like laughing their asses off.
I'll be down there with them laughing my ass off too.
Yeah, they're kind of laughing. They're going, "Oh man, did you see that part? That part was awesome!" And like, I didn't think Earthers could do that. Who knew? There's and like, Waxer probably says something like, I didn't know their cinema was so sophisticated. Stuff like that, it's just like, because like they don't really watch any Earth movies, so they don't really understand like what's like.
Well, after tonight, I can promise you guys that this is a weekly thing. We will do this every week at the same time.
Yeah, man. No, we could probably, maybe I've seen on the Jersey Kinross, they still got a few of the shelters to bring down. I bet you could bring one be better theater than this.
Agreed. I think that'll be a high priority when we get back.
Oh, come on. You gotta get me on those drugs so I can go down the well. It's kind of but all right. So yeah, what does I guess my question is like, I mean, it's a good time. Are there any kind of other like lingering things? McMichael seems pretty tired. Waxer seems pretty tired from working all day. They're getting ready to hit it back. What do you guys want to kind of like? Anything you guys want to do or tell them beforehand or whatever? Because they're supposed to finish up tomorrow. They're supposed to do the last touches tomorrow.
I said what I needed to say, I think.
Same.
Waxer still hasn't been told that you're leaving, Zenny. Do you want to try to talk to him or leave a message or anything, or how do you want to do that?
I think that Zenny knows that Waxer's gonna make her not go if she talks to him.
Mm-hmm.
Either by force because he can.
Right, he's a big guy and he's good with knots, yeah.
Yeah. I think for Zenny, talking to Waxer would be the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she's going to hope that he gets it.
I will say you're also welcome to leave him like a timed message, like he wouldn't get to.
Oh, don't worry, I have something planned.
Cool. All right, make sure.
I got something.
Yeah, he just kind of goes on and keeps on working and doing his thing, and he knows he's helping out, and that's kind of what matters to him. Jan kind of comes back and he's rigged this detonation cord stuff on the ship, and they kind of have set up like these explosives on the ship to kind of project it, and then they kind of like the thrusters they scrap from the ship, they kind of reposition them so they'll push the ship through the gate per your specifications, Dr. Holson. So he's got it all ready, like it's rigged and ready to go. The main thing he's got to kind of do, like he's having kind of trouble doing with more subterfuge, is basically removing crash couches from the ship and putting them on the pod. Like, it's not the most subtle operation. He's kind of like, where are you going with that gravity couch or that crash couch? This. I'm taking it for a walk. I don't know, like, so he's definitely is. That's the last thing he's gonna do is rig all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like they need to be repaired somewhere in a repair bay where maybe we're building a pod.
There you go. Yeah, they're not, the gimbals on them are they need to be, dismantled and completely like re-lubricated from the inside out and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's
just happens to be their service time.
Exactly.
The light came on.
Yeah, and if we could do it in a vacuum, that much better. But yeah, he's kind of rigging up. The room on the Sinclair is getting like tighter and tighter. There's less and less space on the Sinclair due to it's even the Adrian Rogers. They're rigging up more tighter and tighter and tighter. Jan has what's it called? What's the word I want to use here? Has arranged it where the demolitions expert that was on the Adrian Rogers has come over to like run the detonations. You guys haven't really told her what it's for, but she's like, if you want me to blow the thing up, I'll blow the thing up. Like that's sounds great. It's like T-minus 2 hours till you guys pull this thing off. Anything in that last days that you want to take care of before you're actually like putting your butt into like the pod and like getting shot off?
Not that I will share until Zenny is gone.
All right, cool. So,
Zenny is prepping stuff, but
so you spend a lot of time in your quarters, kind of prepping stuff, recording stuff, maybe like I don't know, wrapping presents, whatever you're doing there. But you have a clearly marked "Do Not Disturb" sign on your door, and everybody kind of like gets it all together. Waxer and McMichaels are both like taking inventory of all the stuff, double checking it all. Jan is kind of like sidled off and seems to be with all this stuff inside the cargo bay. It's really hard to like see what you're doing exactly. He's able to kind of get the couches out, and he was I have to take these crash couches out of the cargo bay so we could rig stuff against this wall. Like that's how I'm doing it, right? He kind of bullshits his way through it. Everything's kind of set to go. Jan doesn't even take his back suit off that day. He just kind of keeps it on, walks around the ship with it. And at some point, Zenny, you hear like a knock on your door.
Mm-hmm.
You want to answer it? It's Jan.
I want to see who it is.
It's Jan.
Oh, yeah, then, yeah.
He goes, hey, we're out of here like in an hour. I need you to get suited up. We need to go do this stuff here.
Okay.
All right. And you gotta keep it. And he gives you like some number of how many kilograms you have to keep it under. He's like,
Yeah. The doctor told me at least 17 times today.
I mean, she swears it's not gonna work if we go like a kilogram over, right?
I believe her. We only get one shot at it.
We do. Okay. All right. We listen to her. Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna be outside the ship, clamping down make sure everything's clamped up and ready to go. You need to be out there pretty quick, okay?
Okay.
All right. So he goes, saunters off. Mel, you're going over all the things. You have your demo expert there. You have like your the operations. You're seeing you have like basically like there's like camera, like you're seeing some like footage of inside what the ship looks like. Everything's plotted out. Everything's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, I'm just obsessively double checking on everything, that all the readings on everything look right.
What they're basically going to do is dislodge the pod, and it's going to maneuver over there and just kind of be in position. And then the idea is to accelerate the piece, the ship in front of it. Then the ship behind it accelerates up to kind of catch up to it. Then the idea is it breaks out and kind of shotguns through the thing. That everything kind of goes with the rest of that crap as it enters through. Mm-hmm. But yeah, operations are all good to go.
Right.
What Myrtle or Wyatt, it's getting time, and Zenny's been locked in their room all day.
I think we should go talk to her, Cap.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You guys go down the level, come to crew quarters. Zenny's door's closed.
I'll knock.
Knock on it. All right. Zenny, you can see that it's Wyatt and Myrtle.
I will open it and step out, dressed in my vac suit. And I probably have just like the smallest bag. It's so small of things. And yeah, I'll step out and close the door behind me.
Are you ready?
To be a bullet in space? Yeah. We've done it once before.
Yeah, we've done it before. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It really wasn't, actually. Usually
Yeah,
our
a
luck
little
that
bit.
would have went really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I think of
Definitely.
everybody on this ship, you guys have the best chance to get across there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is there anything that you want us to hold on to for you? In case we do see you again?
Yeah, anything I left in there.
All right.
Yeah. But don't worry about it right now. It'll be fine. It's
Here
not
we'll
going
see you in a
anywhere.
couple weeks anyways. You
Yeah.
kick some ass across there and it'll be back open.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make this like my usual teary kind of thing because I know that like Zenny is uncomfortable with that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna be matter of fact, you know. It's like I know you can do this. You can both do this. You know, I have faith in you both. It'll be all good. You know, like Wyatt says, we'll see you soon.
I think Zenny knows you enough by now to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so, like,
She
while
sees
you're
straight through
in
you.
oh yeah, it's what happens when you're around the same people for years and years and years. She'll just step forward and take both of you in for a big hug, and not say anything. But we'll just hold you.
Just gonna like kind of like I get a hug.
This is my time.
I'm so excited.
You hold him for a while, and at the until you hear a buzz in your ear from Jan going, he's like, Zenny, like 20 minutes, we gotta go, okay? You get ready, make sure you're strapped in, okay?
Yep.
And so do you wanna saunter off, or and only you hear it, I should mention, so.
Yeah.
Alright.
Start making my way over there.
Then he goes down through the galley, goes through the you're welcome to take one last sip of coffee before you hit the airlock.
No.
No, okay. That's true. You don't have to hold it the whole time. But you go up the airlock, kind of saunter past everyone. There's so much stuff in the cargo bay that the cameras in there are worthless right now. Like you can't see anything. It's like stacked to the ceiling. You get out there and you see Jan in the box. He's got the stuff kind of opened, the makeshift kind of like door. That's like there's only a handle on one side of it really, which is the inside. You can see like the thruster mounted to this box, which is a lot bigger than you thought it would be. But there's like the micro thrusters on the side for control and everything. He's rigged it so there's at least 2 for each axis. So, like it can definitely like adjust if it needs to for a flip and burn. But it's got a limited supply. You can see where like what looks to be like little drones like mounted to it. Like they've been like stripped of their thrusters, but they're just kind of like sensor arrays now that kind of are like they can talk to. And he's got the inside of it's got like a panel where like he's got kind of rigged up so you can talk to it. It is super Belcher looking. Like it is a very Belcher built ship. Probably I'm kind of curious actually what Mel thinks of this ship, having seen it now. Like,
Yeah, when you said that, she winced a little bit, but she's like, no, it's fine. The mass is right, the thrust is right. I don't care what it looks like on the inside. It's okay. It's gonna do the job.
And
but there's a little like.
Yeah, Jan kind of as you come out, Zenny, he kind of goes like talking to you. He's like, so how'd it go in there?
Fine.
Fine. Okay, that's all I need to know. All right, look, we got to strap in. Mel's gonna be in our ear talking to us, and we gotta keep it reserved. I don't know how long we're gonna be in these suits, or how. So real quick, Mel, how long do you think it'll take them to get to the station? Like I said, the inside, it's about the midway point of like the ring space, and the ring space is about the size of like Earth's sun inside. So like it's pretty. I think it's like I can't remember how big the sun is offhand. I don't want to say the wrong thing because you're.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, a week.
Week? Okay. So it'll be a week sitting in the suit. You've done worse than this. You're gonna have to like empty out a few things here and there, keep it really conservative, abate the oxygen usage to kind of keep you guys mellow. It's gonna probably hurt a lot when you actually do start moving again. Ache for a while, but you'll get there. Mel, you're up in the deck here, and the timing's kind of all set up now. It's approaching maybe like a 5-minute mark to launch, and Myrtle, Wyatt, you guys are in your stations watching this thing. Mikhail's just ready for any kind of signals you need to give him to do anything. What do you guys want to? What do you guys want to do?
I mean, I'm just gonna like smile sadly and look at the numbers and just wait as the clock ticks down.
Jan's kind of talking to you. You supposedly then he's on the thing here too, but isn't. Jan's kind of the one going through and double checking. He's walking through all the numbers. You're going through the etiquette of launch, and it comes down to 30 seconds. And you can kind of hear him counting down under his breath and everything. He's kind of and you can get a camera of like his like face. You can see his face on something like that. He's kind of looking around, just doing it. And he goes, "All right, well, we're gonna cut video feed. And you guys have the external feed of the thing. And you can see that the shuttle at the mark kind of starts moving towards the electric fog. The electric fog has been largely stripped. You can see like a lot of it's much more open. There is like the cargo bays are open, like the side paneling was taken. A lot of it has been put into cargo containers on the Adrian Rogers. It is like a skeleton, like almost a skeleton. And you can kind of see like as their ship starts moving towards it, suddenly the electric fog kind of sideways starts thrusting towards the gate. And the other ship's kind of following it at a slower rate. During this time, Zenny, you and Yan are still on comms, but you can still talk to the Sinclair. You guys have probably about like another hour in the system before you actually breach the gate. And you can feel the thrust going through. It's holding you in place pretty good. The grav couches are doing their job. They're adjusting. This isn't like you're being pushed by an Epstein drive. You're being pushed by by thrusters essentially. But they do have some kick. And they're not necessarily the most even thrusters, we'll say. It's definitely not quite as even of a burn as a fusion drive. But it's going. You can definitely feel yourself moving. There is an external kind of feed you can watch as you can see what's going on. About 55 minutes or so into it, you can see inside the Adrian Rogers like some stuff starts coming off. This internal detonations have gone off to kind of weaken the structure of it. It keeps on pushing through. And about like 5 minutes, it's supposed to basically explode, go through the gate, and then you guys thrust hard through the gate behind it. You still have contact with the Sinclair. Myrtle and Wyatt, you guys are watching this. Holson, everything's going to plan. As far as you can tell, you're checking the numbers, everything's going to plan. The Sinclair's watching it.
I'm just going to keep reassuring them that it's all looking exactly as... Yeah, the math is checking out, guys. You're where you need to be. Looks good. Like, I'm babbling a little bit too much.
And Jan's kind of like, he's fed you guys some information just from inside the pod, what he's got here. And he's going on, he goes, all right, we're 1 minute out from the gate. And you guys don't hear much from him. 30 seconds.
You got this. Hope you find your families and what you're looking for on the other side.
Goes, thank you. 20 seconds.
And we're always going to be your family.
15. 10.
See you soon.
9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. You guys suddenly, like, the thing just like goes off your scopes. All there is just the ring gate. You can see the distortion of light of the parts that went through the gate, but like you don't see anything else. You just see, and slowly it becomes harder and harder to see. It becomes more and more blurry as it gets away from the gate. It's like a piece of like debris going underneath water. The farther it gets you, the less you can see of it. And Zenny is a whole nother dimension of space, effectively having gone through. Eventually, like, McMichaels and Waxer get done like taking their nap shifts, and they're like, hey, where's Jan? Jan didn't show up for a shift. Where the hell is he?
Be like, they went to fix whatever's going on.
And McMichaels kind of look like Waxer looks. He goes, "Is the Adrian Rogers okay?"
Everything's okay, buddy. We'll meet us upstairs here in a second. Come up there with Captain and me.
Yeah. Well, McMichael's like, "What the fuck is going on, man?" Like he's like free, kind of like he's like something's up. He can tell something's up. Is there? They kind of like do this whole thing where they kind of like they go up top with you guys eventually. And what happens up there? Like, what you just take them to the galley or talk to them or whatever?
Yeah, I'll just explain everything that's going on.
Okay.
Just not going to sugarcoat it or
Yeah.
anything.
They're taken aback by it. I mean, McMichael's a little speechless. Holy shit! Like, Waxer's taken aback by it. He's not sure how to feel. Thinking about it. Is there any? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if anybody could do this, they're the ones to do it.
I mean, they're both in agreement. Yeah, they completely agree. So, okay. I'm not sure what else you guys want to do tonight.
I have one last thing.
Give me some epilogue action.
Yeah.
So in Zenny's room, whenever you go in, is it's just like a little pile of stuff. Secure but like on the bed. And there's I think they have it. The copy of the book that was given to Zenny from I don't remember.
Dr. Harper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Harper, yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Still in exceptionally good condition, although you can see that the edges have been like crimpled over on the corners as if Zenny read it. at least parts of it. There is a folded up green jacket that has on top of it, or inside of it, because I think it would be better, is in a case, because it's safer, is Zenny's revolver, specifically hers, cleaned and as the most pristine it's ever looked. There's also a very small box that just has written and affixed somewhere to Captain Myrtle. And probably at some point, either before this or shortly after, the three of you would get a message. I'm gonna try not to cry.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. I'm not good at this. This whole goodbye stuff, but I guess I'm kind of used to people leaving, so it's kind of weird to be the one who's going this time, but I didn't have a good picture of what family was until I came here. And you all seem to care so much about everybody, and I was so mad at you for it for so long. But you gave this suspicious belter who trusted nobody a chance, and I can't thank you enough for that. Wyatt, you need to take care of everybody, because you know they aren't going to take care of themselves. There's a lot of people who need you right now, and so if you're gonna get shot, do it together, do it with other people around. Myrtle, there should be a box with my stuff. I saved some of the coffee for you. It's no chocolate, but I hope you think of me when you drink it. If you drink it. You don't have to drink it if you don't want to, but Waxer, I know I didn't tell you what I was planning, and I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, because I know if I told you, I wouldn't have wanted to go, and I needed to go, and I hope you get that, and I hope you can forgive me, because I'm not gonna stop looking for answers for you. So, we both just gotta look out for each other, right? This isn't the last time you're gonna see me, so don't get all emotional about it. I'm gonna be back. And don't get too comfortable. Somebody's gotta sit in my seat, but don't let, McMichael sit in it. McMichaels can sit in it as a treat. It's fine. But I'll be back at some point. We'll see each other again. I just gotta, And Naros isn't gonna know what hit him, so we're gonna hit him hard. And Denny reaches up and turns off the message.
Oh, you all watch this. Take it in as you need to. Your own moments, maybe together, maybe over some cheesy poofs, however you want to. But regardless, beyond the ring, the Pezahls have gone to do the good fight. So I think we're gonna call it there. Like that's a good place. That's a good one. Okay, just make sure it's a good place to call it. All right.
We're gonna go out with Myrtle needing to be comforted by Wyatt.
Okay. You guys.
She's just gonna break down and just like cry all over the place.
Oh, very cool. Well, listen. I'm trying to pivot into the end of the show stuff here, so I gotta build it up here. That was great. Thank you so much. I gotta say, so I want to start by thanking Jessie for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me back again.
You know, well, I when you asked to come back, I was like, oh, I guess I'm an okay person. It was very validating. I really enjoyed it. But no, I thank you for coming. You're a blast to play with, and you're absolutely brilliant.
Been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for letting me.
Thanks for shooting me into space.
If the astronomy thing, if the astronomy thing doesn't work out, I think you have a future in actual plays. Very cool. But most importantly tonight, we hit a mark of $160 for World Central Kitchen between our two nights. Very cool. Jessie's gonna match that.
So it's $320.
$320.
Because we can math.
We can, we don't just role play one. We don't just role play math. We can actually really do that kind of math in our head. So we'll get that in and set up, and so that more meets our goal of $250 that we had for our initial stream. It's very cool. It's going to go out and help a lot of people. World Central Kitchen does so much good work. Maria, I want to say thank you for playing with us. I really didn't know the quality I was getting into with you when I first asked you to play with us. And I want to read a few things from our patrons that wrote to you.
Oh, geez.
we did a little card, kind of a little digital card thing, and I'll read it to you. Scott is because Scott's one of our patrons. He said, it's been amazing playing with Maria. Our good friend Danny said, it's going to miss you and hearing you on the stream. You did a great job. Be proud of what you did here. And then our good friend Philip out of Germany says he's going to miss you. He's gonna miss Zenny with the big iron on her hip.
I still have one. I still have Dingo's gun.
It's still Dingo's gun.
That one came with me.
Dingo's gun's a good item for vengeance, I feel.
Especially on my Dina station.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's poetic as shit.
Yeah, that gun's just like, you hear like on the 1 week you hear the gun talking to you, going, "Let's do this thing." Like it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's brilliant. I love it. And I love these cool little, I really want to say personally for me, thank you for, this is why one thing I love about my players that I play any game with is thank you for contributing and helping to build a cool mythology, for making our experience better, for making our shared experience better. And it has been an absolute brilliant time playing with you for this year and a half, Maria. So that's just coming from me. I look forward to hanging out with you at OrcaCon. By the way, OrcaCon guys, OrcaCon's amazing. Please go. And we know you're welcome back anytime. I want to say you're welcome back anytime. So I think hopefully I made that clear. But I'm not sure what to say without. I try not to cry on screen.
You should do it. It's cathartic. Cry in front of strangers, everybody. Do it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But I appreciate that, right? I will. No, it's definitely hitting me in the feels. I will say that or it's just me wearing a sweater. But it might be both. But thank you everybody for hanging out for us tonight. Thank you for doing this work for World Central Kitchen. Thank you again to Jessie. Thank you everybody. We will be back actually in November on the November 14th is when we'll be back with new episodes. So please keep tuned. Please check out all our stuff and everything, but we will be back then. Thank you very much, everyone. And we will see you then. Later.